Fall is in the air, and that means football is in full swing. Week 6 of the high school football season brings us to Oceanside, where a legacy has been formed and some of the greats have stepped foot on the very field here at John Carroll Stadium. But there's a new king in town, a new gold standard, and a team trying to join its name amongst the greats. Mount Miguel, under the head coach of Verlaine Betofe in his third season, gracing the North County with its feisty presence. And Mount Miguel and Oceanside now on a collision course here in week number 6. Welcome into John Carroll Stadium on the pregame show here on Cox, as well as TVX Sports video on YouTube. My name is Jonathan Rifkin, delighted to be with you. A night of fun awaits us. High intensity, high octane football between Oceanside and Mount Miguel, and we have all of it for you here on Cox and on TVX Sports video. It's a night that we all anticipated. It's been circled on the Oceanside schedule. It's an Oceanside team that has one of the toughest schedules in all of San Diego. They've had to play the likes of Carlsbad, Mission Hills, as well as Granite Hills and Helix, and here they are tonight hosting Mount Miguel. Mount Miguel found its resurgence in football 3 years ago, and they made the decision to overturn the coaching staff and hand the keys to the kingdom off to their new head coach, Verlaine Betofe. Earlier this week, our own Tommy Morris got to talk with the new coach.
All right, Coach, so year 3 here at Mount Miguel, and as I've talked with all the kids, slowly building. Schedule gets harder.
Yeah.
Divisions get from 4 to 1 to maybe open. So what has it been like building this program?
Man, it's been tremendous, honestly. When we took it over 3 years ago, there was about 38 kids in the program. They won 15 games in like 5 or 6 years, so it wasn't a lot of success that happened, before we got here. But, brought in the staff. We just worked tirelessly, changed the culture, expect a lot from the players. And 2 things we really preached was accountability and how you practice. So I think, implementing those 2 things in the program really kind of, made us get to where we're at right now. So I'm really proud of these guys.
And you were saying a little bit before this, more of like an old school approach. So what goes into that?
It's just, we don't allow excuses. You know what I mean? We don't allow no soft things. We're on them a lot. It's a lot of discipline. It's a lot of structure. It's a lot of accountability. You know what I mean? You show up 10 seconds late, you're gonna do barrel crawls. If you wear the wrong thing, you're gonna do barrel crawls. So every single thing we do has accountability to it. And then what starts to happen is everybody starts to shift towards that, and everybody starts to do the right thing, and then the program gets better.
And something about this program too that everyone kind of tries to do, but I would say you guys maybe do it a little bit better. It's not just about high school; it's about life after high school, whether it be playing in college or just being a normal college student.
Yes.
So, what about that aspect of coaching do you guys have to take extra care of, and what goes into that? Man,
that's big for me, man. I'm a kid that grew up in Southeast San Diego in the inner city, and going to college, I went to Indiana State University, changed my life. So, for me, college placement have always been a big thing for me because I see what it did for me. So, we do a lot as a staff to make sure, reaching out to colleges. We have a lot of connections with a lot of colleges and just trying to put our kids in the best situation possible so that way they can get to college and get a degree and hopefully get a master's degree, because at the end of the day, football is going to end no matter if you make it to the league or college, but we just want to set these guys up, for the long haul.
And now your program is taking on a lot of big name, quote unquote, programs throughout San Diego, the more storied names like Oceanside this week. So what have you seen about Oceanside and what can we expect?
Man, they do a great job offensively, man. I think they do a great job defensively. I know Fale pretty well. I know he runs a great program, and they're kind of in a similar situation we are. They're trying to turn the program around. They turned it around, and they're scheduling a tougher team so they can get better. So I think it's going to be a great game. We're excited for the challenge.
Yeah, the year 3 for them too. So do you guys kind of look at each other's programs as sort of like, oh, well, we started at the same time. Like now we're both sort of moving up.
Yeah, we talk to each other a little bit. We'll message each other. He'll just tell me, good job, you guys are doing a great job. And I'll tell him, you guys are doing a great job too. So I see what he's doing over there, and I see him trying to build and trying to bring that Oceanside pride back, and I see it coming back. A lot of people are vested in it, and we're trying to do the same thing for Mount Miguel and the Spring Valley community. So we're doing it as well. So, I'm happy for him. So it's going to be a good game. We're excited.
All right, Coach. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, while Coach Betofe is trying to do the same thing at Mount Miguel, trying to raise those banners that you see out front, parallel here at Oceanside at John Carroll Stadium, Coach Fale Palomelli is trying to do the same thing, restore greatness here to the northern tip of San Diego County. He, too, had the opportunity to speak with Tommy Morris earlier this week.
All right, Coach, coming off the bye week, what did you guys get to take advantage of in the bye week? Was it just resting everybody? Was it watching extra film? What were some of the things you guys had to do?
No, I think a lot of it was going back to the basics and reiterating the foundations of our program and just watching film and help building those kids up. And like, hey, this is what we're going to work on now, or just in this off week, and we'll go from there. But
and Oceanside is one of those programs. I mean, you think about San Diego high school football, that one goes up. It's one of the first things people think about. So what's it sort of like getting to be the coach of not just these guys, but this program and this school, and kind of taking the passing the torch on?
I wouldn't have it any other way. To be here, to represent Oceanside as a whole, and not only just as a high school, but I was a part of myself, being an alumni, graduated 2000. I've been a part of the, when Carol was going to CIFs all the time, and to be a part of that, just to know what it felt like to be a student athlete under his regime, it was huge. So for me to start this thing and begin my era as the head coach, I think the big thing was hey, what could I do to help our kids feel the way that I felt when I was here?
What have you seen in film? What are some of the things that you're expecting to see, and what's sort of the game plan and preparation for this?
For Mount Miguel, I know they're going to go long. I mean, they've been known to do it. They got the fastest kid in Arrington, and he's one of the kids that we watched out for. But there's also the other kids that do really well. Number 5, he's probably A.J. Logan. He's probably one of their best guys. He's an all-around athlete. He's not scared to get it mixed up in the box, cover some gaps if needed. He's just a really good, fundamentally sound football player. It's going to be a fun one because we're all growing at the same time. Verlaine started his program 3 years ago, and I'm starting mine on my 3rd year as well. So to see it go together, and see how it pans out after, I hope we end up on top.
Yeah, you said his 3rd year, your 3rd year. So have you been sort of mirroring each other? You've been watching what each other are doing, or is it just more sort of just coincidence?
Nah, it's coincidence.
Okay.
I think God's blessed both of us in our own aspects of giving back to the community and doing what we've been doing outside of, the respective high schools. But, we all been coaching for a long time. So to actually have an opportunity to be the head guy at a program and be the guy and make the major decisions, it's huge. So it's just a commend him for his hard work that he does, and that's why he's there.
Coach, thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Names that Coach Palmelli pointed out, and one of the names you'll be hearing the great Jack Cronin call tonight on the Mount Miguel side is number 5, A.J. Logan. Logan is committed to Boise State. He's the team's leading receiver in pass-catching yards, and he has 4 receiving touchdowns this season. Amongst amazing skill position players, he leads the charge on that offense. Here's Mr. Logan chatting with Tommy Morris earlier this week.
All right, AJ, senior year, you get a chance to be a leader. This has sort of been a program that you've helped build. So what's it like to be a senior finally?
It's actually it's a real feeling. I remember first coming into this program, and from the bottom, and now we're here. Coach V has really changed the culture, and he's changed his program around. And it's been great. It's been a great journey.
And when people tell you when you're a freshman it goes fast, did you believe them, A, and then B, what's it like now that you've arrived here?
Nah, I didn't believe them at first. High school did go by really, really fast. But, I've met some great people, met some great coaches, and it's really been exciting.
And for you, obviously going all the way through the recruiting process and everything, you end up deciding you're going to go to Boise. So what can the Bronco fans learn about you and expect to see from you next year?
Somebody who works hard, somebody who's a standout player, somebody who's a leader, and someone who is a team player.
So for this game, Oceanside, I know you've probably watched some film, you've done your research already, obviously. What have you seen so far, and what can we expect to see out of them on Friday, you think?
A very physical, tough team. They got a lot of, athletic, big guys, just like we do, so I think it's going to be a dogfight.
And then for you guys have a very explosive offense. So what are some of the things that when you describe it to other people, how do you explain it?
I mean, I think we have the best offense in San Diego. I mean, Coach V, he be dialing some stuff up. Honestly, when we watch film, there's always somebody open every single play, and we just got to capitalize off of Coach V's good play calling.
Well, A.J. Logan rather, isn't the only one who gets his paw prints all over that pigskin out there. His running back, Jaden Hunter, also finds himself well in the mix. Teams leading rusher, teams leading Player in rushing yards, also 2 rushing touchdowns this season. He's amassed 4 offers, including Minnesota and Washington, Arizona, also on that list. And he is going to be relied on for the bulk of the backfield duties here this evening.
And going into this game, what's some of the things you've seen on film? And it's obviously going to be a good game. So what are some of the things about Oceanside that you picked up on?
Honestly, they cover a lot of space, but one thing about them is that their backers are aggressive, but they, when you get low on them, they can't do anything, it seems like. The lower the back, when I was watching, the lower the back went, the higher success he had running through them. And I think that I'll find a lot of success doing that as well.
There you go. Just got to say low, right? And so for you, what were some of the goals you have for yourself this year? And didn't have to necessarily be statistical, but like things you wanted to improve on, and how have you been doing that?
Honestly, the goals for myself was I just wanted to see my team win. You know, from day one, taking this big jump from D4 into open, I just wanted to see my team succeed and,
Yeah, what does that jump been like? Because it is pretty dramatic going from 4 to potentially open.
It's a pretty big jump, especially with the competition. A lot hits are coming a lot bigger, a lot faster, a lot stronger. But our team came ready for it, and we're rolling with the punches. 4-1 on the season to start. We're what, 92 last season? I think we're doing good.
Well, from the offense to the defense, a junior has erupted to be second on the team right now in tackles, averaging just about 7 tackles per game. Dominique Lopez on the Mount Miguel defensive side. As much as we know the Mount Miguel offense can get the job done, it's up to that guy in the secondary as well as some of his teammates to try and stifle a very stout Oceanside offense.
So we're about halfway through the season now. What were some of the goals that you had for yourself going into this year, and not just for you personally, but for the team also?
For the team, we want to win league. Obviously, league. After this, we have leagues. We want to win league. We want to go undefeated, and obviously we can't no more. But the rest of the way, we want to go undefeated. And for myself, I really just want to win. I just want to win. And
well, you can't, because you can go 1-0 every single week. So then you'd be undefeated every single week. You go 1-0 every single week from here on out. For this game specifically, what have you seen on film? What is sort of your expectations going into this game?
We know it's going to be a good game. We know Oceanside is going to be good. They're a really well-coached team. Their offense is good. Their defense is good. But so are we. So we know it's going to be a good game, and I think it's going to come down to physicality, and whoever's more physical is going to win.
And then also for you guys, it's almost seemed like every year you've taken a step up, not just in like your league or your division, but also your schedule's got harder and harder and harder. This year, probably the hardest one that you guys have had. So what's it been like playing this schedule?
Yeah, we know our schedule is top of the top. We go against all these really good teams, top 10 teams in San Diego, and it's good for us. We go against all these teams, and then when we get to our league, I think it makes it easier for us. No game is easy, but it makes it easier for us to go compete with the other teams.
And for people who haven't seen you play yet, they get to see you in this game. What can they expect to see?
From me, you can expect me to just be everywhere on the field. I'm going to fly around. I'm going to give it my all every single play. And for the team, and I think that goes out for our whole team. Our whole team is going to give it their all every play, and we're just going to play our hardest.
Well, while Mount Miguel has all of the athletes to certainly put a good product on that football field, they're going to have to go against one of the best linebackers, not just in San Diego, but in all of the United States. Ezekiah Tokyo, they call him Easy because he makes it oh so easy out there on the gridiron. He's a Washington commit, and he's somebody who transferred here midway through the season. He was eligible, and man, as he turned a corner, emerging as one of the top options defensively in all of California.
All right, Easy, we're here at Oceanside High School where you are currently the leading tackler. So what's it like leading this Oceanside defense?
It's great, I'm just proud. I'm thankful for everybody. And, I'm just happy that I'm able to contribute to this team.
And people talk about quarterbacks all the time, but person who needs to be talked about, I think, just as much as the quarterback of the defense. Would you consider yourself that role? And then what's it like having to kind of command all your guys?
I just try to keep a level head, try to maintain my emotions. So, because they're all looking as I know they're all looking up to me to keep my head and make sure that everyone's okay. So,
matchup specifically, we're playing a really good team.
Yes,
Mount Miguel's got a lot of good athletes. So, what is the stuff you've seen on film, and what's it going to take for you guys to pull a win?
Oh yeah, they're a very fast team. They love to pass the ball. And, they're a hard knock team. I think what it's going to take for us to win is that we play our brand of football, and we play fast, physical, and discipline.
And what's it like getting into a matchup against some dudes that you see maybe clips of them on the internet?
Yeah.
You see their names in the paper. Like, does it give you a chance to sort of prove yourself too?
Yeah, 100%. It's very exciting. It's exciting to see those players and to see that competition come to our home, and we get to play and prove ourselves.
Well, from our defense to the offense, Kimani Nua has really separated himself as the top option for Barqueñero and this Oceanside team. 5 receiving touchdowns this season, 360 reception yards, and somebody who is going to have a big night to be able to run toe-to-toe with that Mount Miguel offense. Kimani Nua earlier caught up with Tommy Morris to talk about tonight and his career as an Oceanside Pirate.
All right, come on. You have a pretty famous last name around San Diego high school football. Tell us a little bit who you're related to.
My older brother, Georgie Nua, played 2 years ago. He played running back, and I've had other family members that aren't with the last name Nua, but really my brother for the last 2 years.
And what has he sort of taught you about what high school football is like, and how has he helped you go through this whole entire fun experience playing Oceanside?
Yeah, so not even high school football. He's showed me my whole way through youth football, through coming up every time, playing just together when we were younger growing up. And I got to play with him my sophomore year, and he really instilled this leadership mentality in me, and that you got to do what you can and everybody else will follow when it's right. So, I mean, you just lead by example and do what's best for the team.
And what's cool about Oceanside, too, you guys have the Pop Warner program that feeds into this. So you guys all probably known each other for a long time. So what's it like being part of that family?
It's a great thing. Mike and Isaiah, I've been playing with them since I was 7 years old. So, I mean, we just grew up together, learn how to play with each other. And when you know your teammates, it's fast. It's easy. So
for this matchup specifically, there's a couple corners on their team that are pretty good. They have little stars next to their name and all kind of stuff. So what's it going to be like for you to go into this game and have a chance to prove yourself?
I'm just going to play the game I was taught my whole life, do what my coaches teach me, and do what I do best and make plays when my name's called.
And what can we expect to see? What are the type of plays that you normally make?
Just catch the ball when it's thrown at me and get some extra yards. That's all I can say. I don't predict stats. I don't want to predict my stats. I just want to do what I can.
Well, you heard 3 names in that interview, and the final one to talk about is the great Micah Felatoy. Micah has really anchored that secondary for Oceanside. He's actually played both sides of the ball this year. A couple of carries, a couple of receptions, but his bread and butter is chasing down wide receivers, picking off passes, and leading this defense.
All right, Micah, safety and slot receiver, so everyone wants to know what's better, tackling someone or running somebody over?
I say tackling somebody. It gives you a chance to make a big play, get your energy going, get started in a game.
And if you had to compare your style of play at safety to an NFL player or college player, who would you say you kind of emulate your game after?
I like to say Caleb Downs because he rotates at nickel a lot. He's able to play free, strong, backer he feels. He plays fast. He flies around the field.
You do get to rotate in an offense also. So, describe to us what you're like as a receiver.
I'm really just quick game type of guy. I got good routes. I feel like I'm good in space.
Coming into this game, again, a lot of good athletes on that side of the ball. So what have you seen in film, and what are you excited to go after this game?
They're a good team. They're fast. They have good technique. So it's just a good chance for me to show myself and show my skills.
And then for you guys too, I mean, you had a really hard schedule, and this is a game that another tough one. So what's it been like week in and week out challenging yourselves?
It's good competition. It only makes us better, no matter the outcome. It only makes us stronger as a team. So I think it's good to play those type of teams.
Well, it is really wrapping up here in the pregame to set up for one amazing football game, but we're not done just yet here on TVX Sports Video. Let's send it up to the booth. Jack Cronin and Tommy Morris will have you for the broadcast. And Jack, Tommy, what are things from your perspective up top?
Well, it looks fantastic here, Jonathan. Amazing work on the field here tonight. And this is for San Diego standards. We're having a fantastic, wonderful late September Friday night. As we turn the clock forward a little bit here, it's been very hot. We're getting a little bit of a break. It's a wonderful, cool evening. And these two great teams are going to go at it here in just a few minutes. Kickoff is at 7:15 tonight. We'll have a great preview for us coming up here in just a sec.
And the big thing is cool because of the first broadcast, I was sweating a little bit in these suits. So finally I feel comfortable for one of these games. But no, kind of as you mentioned, these are two programs that are on the rise. Oceanside took a little dip recently, but now they're kind of back up. And Mount Miguel, huge resurgence under Coach V. That's what the kids call him. So I'm going to reference him as that for the rest of the evening. And, yeah, it should be a really good matchup.
Well, we have the kickoff coming your way right after this. It is Oceanside and Mount Miguel, the number 8 team in the San Diego section, traveling here to the North County. Up to 5 to Oceanside and the legacy program of the Pirates. It's coming your way next, right here on TVX Sports, the CIF San Diego section game of the week.
Well, it's shaping up to be a good one. Mount Miguel, Oceanside. Even though Oceanside's 1-4, they don't back down, and they're ready to show the teeth of what this team can do. And, of course, Mount Miguel riding a 4-1 record here into the night, and a team that wants to show they are open division worthy. A road win in Oceanside could certainly help you make your case if you take care of business in league. But don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to switch things over and join you on the other side. It is Oceanside and Mount Miguel. It's the San Diego section high school football game of the week. It's coming up next right here on TVX Sports Video and Cox YurView Channel 4. Player offense. There's Flores in the backfield. From left to right moves Sebastian Tucker. Palmer looking to throw. Palmer looking to run. Palmer gets the first down and then some. Brady Palmer taken off, and he's into the end zone for a Don's touchdown. If you're a wrestling coach at Cathedral and you need another dude, I mean, look at this. Look at this, the ability to wrap him up and have the wherewithal. Just get him down out of bounds right there.
Oh, man. If he's 1 inch taller, that's a catch.
29-yard line, and it's a flip up to Falave. This time he has space. Turning on the Jets for a moment. Skipping upfield. Evading pressure. Honor Falave is in. It's going to be quite a bout between the Pirates and the Matadors. Play action. Far side. Caught. Alone. Honor. Touchdown. Dons.
Up here in Oceanside tonight, the Pirates play host at number 8 Mount Miguel. Welcome in to the CIF San Diego section Game of the Week, brought to you by TVX Sports Video. TVX has been covering sports in San Diego and around the Southwest for nearly 20 years. They're committed to bringing you the best in live, local, and emerging sports. Visit tvxvideo.com or check them out on YouTube, Instagram, X, and TVX Sports Video. All of it at TVX Sports Video. Jack Cronin, Tommy Morris, you heard from Jonathan Rifkin here in the pregame coverage tonight as the number 8 team in the section, the 4-1 Mount Miguel Matadors, have come here to Oceanside, winners of the D4 title 2 years ago. Both of these teams from the D1 playoffs a season ago, and both of their third-year head coaches as they come tonight for this 2025 matchup.
Yeah, I'd expect them both to be in Division I again. I know that 1-4 record for Oceanside is there, but it's very misleading. They played a very difficult schedule leading into this game. They've challenged themselves a lot. They want to be back in that discussion for Division I and potentially in a couple years, maybe even the Open. So another good test here, another good team, a team with a lot of good athletes. I think there's over 10 Division I athletes on both sides of the ball if you combine them on the field tonight. So you're going to be reading a lot of commitments as we go through this game.
No kidding. Well, you mentioned the schedule for Oceanside. It's the second toughest rated schedule in all of the San Diego section. We're talking about dozens and dozens and dozens of programs. This is the second toughest schedule that they've played. Their losses are to Granite Hills, Mission Hills, and Carlsbad, and they beat Helix. So, these are huge games that they're playing in, and it only gets tougher from here. They are going to get a bunch of transfers who are eligible this week, including some from El Camino, but this team has played a huge schedule for this season.
And like I said, they want to be eventually in that open division conversation. That's why those first 3 games were against teams that theoretically might be in the open division this year. The one win was Helix. We saw them last week. Mount Miguel is going to play Helix later in the season, so they will eventually have a common opponent. But I know Mount Miguel comes in this game with the quote-unquote ranking, but these are 2 teams that are extremely evenly matched, and I expect this to be a close one.
Well, for Verlaine Batofe, what he has done with this program in the last 2 years, this now is his 3rd season, they win 2 years ago their first section championship since 1960, the first year of the San Diego section. It was a D4 title as they build their way up in the rankings, and then last year they're the number 5 seed in the D1 playoffs. They're now the number 8 team in the section this year. Yeah,
and it's something that they sort of planned on, and going from 4th, and they make double jump up to 2, which is difficult. Not a lot of teams have had to deal with that, and they did fine in that division, and last year made some noise in D1. Again, expect them to be back there again. They're rated in the top 10 as of right now in San Diego. They've got probably, from my perspective, the most athletic team. If you look at the skill position guys, you've got dudes going to Texas A&M, Boise State, all over the field. They've got dudes committed to big Power 5 schools, and some that are just juniors right now that have a ton of offers as well. So again, I'm very excited to see this, but on Oceanside side of the ball, they have the dudes to match up with it. It's not like they've got their own Division I commits over there as well, and we'll be hearing from them tonight too.
Absolutely. And same thing for Oceanside. You're looking at Fale Pomela, who is a legacy player for this program, 2 CIF championships as a player with this team, coming back to take over his alma mater. They go from 0-10 to then winning 7 games in each of the last 2 seasons. So both of these programs are building up from where they were. They've been at different points for the kind of the history of their programs. We talk about all the championships that John Carroll won here at Oceanside, the legacy players and coaches and program that this is for the Pirates. But in the recent history, the last 3-4 years, they're kind of building toward some of the similar places.
Yeah, they've done a good job. And you mentioned bringing in a head coach who is part of the family, quote-unquote, of Oceanside. And you're going to see tonight a bunch of Pop Warner kids running around because I believe it's Pop Warner night. And that's sort of the theme is they want to keep everybody coming up through this program being a fan of the Pirates from when they're in 6U, 8U, 10U. So they want to create this atmosphere that they've created right now. And I will say this as well. One of the nicer stadiums in San Diego. I love it when we get to come here. So they just got to maintain it, keep the talent here, and they've done a pretty good job of it. And you'll see tonight a sophomore starting quarterback, and that just sort of gives you an idea of the young talent they have at Oceanside.
Anthony Bacanero is going to start at QB, 6'3", 185-pounder. Tommy mentioned just a sophomore. He's completed 65% of his passes already for 1,000 yards on the year, 8 touchdowns on the season for Anthony Bacanero. So he will lead this offense. In the pregame, Tommy, you got a chance to speak with Kaimani Nua, who is a senior who's headed to Army, who's going to be doing some kicking duties, but obviously known for the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, great receiver, and that's something that Oceanside, again, going back to sort of the new school Oceanside, they're going to spread it out. They're going to throw the ball. Nua is a huge part of that, obviously. And I did talk to him though. He hasn't gotten a haircut yet, so we got to get that working. I think he's holding on for as long as he can, but he'll get that Army haircut. Any kid who wants to go to a service academy, is a tough kid because they know what they're signing up for. I talked to him about that as well. He knows it's going to be a rigorous schedule, and that, as I always say, the hardest part of an Army football player's day is not football practice; it's everything else. So that gives you an idea of the type of toughness this Oceanside team has.
On the defensive side of the ball, you got a chance to speak with Isaiah Tokyo, who is going to Washington, their leading tackler with 20 stops on the year. Easy Tokyo is a huge presence on the defensive side.
Yeah, and I told him too when I did that interview, I'm like, dude, you make me look bad because you're huge and I'm not big enough to start. Now I look like a little kid, but he looks the part and he acts the part, and there's a reason why Washington wanted him really bad. He signed that commitment pretty early on in the process, and yeah, I mean, every school in the country would be dumb to not offer him, and you'll see it tonight.
For Mount Miguel, Verlaine Batope is known for high-powered offenses. They put up a ton of points. They throw the football a bunch. They are an offensive powerhouse, and they have the skill position players to back that up. Paris Warren's going to San Jose State. Brandon Arrington to Texas A&M. A.J. Logan to Boise State, and Malachi Jackson to Weber State. Both sides of the ball, you've got guys, and a great line, by the way, too. And that was one of the things they were trying to build in the program was they were throwing the ball. Now you're building an offensive line around it as well with guys who are going to NAU, Boise State, Cal, and otherwise.
Yeah, we were actually at that game 2 years ago when they were playing El Cap, and that was my only thing is they're good, but they're just a little small and a little young. Yep. Another guy on that list who's just a junior is Delonte Williams, who's got offers from almost everyone in the country. I mean, once you get an offer from Georgia, that might as well be all of them, right? So a lot of really good skill guys, and the only question going into it, would Jeremiah Loper be able to handle the keys of the car because he's got a Ferrari? He's driven it pretty well so far, so expect a high power, a lot of horsepower, I guess, for this Mount Miguel offense.
Yeah, I mean, you can't discount the juniors, Jaden Hunter and Delonte Williams, who have offers at the D1 level as well. And you mentioned Jeremiah Loper, who has completed 59% of his passes for 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, only 2 picks on the year. When you've got the guys to run after contact, run after catch, you got the athletes to spread the ball around, can't make the mistakes, and he does. He's only got 2 picks.
And you'll see a lot of RPOs tonight, too. That's a way that they like to spread the ball out, and it's a good way to stretch the defense horizontal as well as vertical because they're going to take some deep shots, too. And we'll talk about him, obviously, tonight, but Brandon Arrington, probably the fastest person in San Diego, not just high schooler, and they like to take deep shots to him. He's primarily a defensive guy, but if you see 2 in the game, your ears should poke up a little bit because he's probably getting the ball. They like to throw him the ball on the perimeter also to try and almost, because he likes, they like having him return kicks as well, almost like a de facto kick return when they throw him a wide receiver screen. So yeah, another good playmaker for this Mount Miguel offense.
Well, as we see the captains head toward midfield, let's check in with our captain on the field as well, Jonathan Rifkin, who just did pregame coverage for us tonight. And Jonathan, this is a great, beautiful night in the San Diego section. We're here in Oceanside, a legacy location. It's an awesome atmosphere with a ton of people who are here to cheer on the Pirates.
Captain, my captain, Jack Cronin. Tonight is an event in Oceanside. If you know Oceanside culture, You know, every Friday night in the football season is indeed an event. But tonight feels like the tempo has been turned up just a little bit. This is a team that started off on the road. They go at Granite Hills, at Carlsbad, at Mission Hills. They play a gauntlet of the first 3 weeks. You guys mentioned the second-ranked schedule in terms of strength in San Diego. And by the way, they picked up a win against Helix at home, their first home win, then you have a bye. So the last time these fans saw this team on this football field, they were winners. They put up 47 points in that game. They had some great defense. And when you leave that as your lasting impression in your first home game, now the expectation is set, Jack and Tommy. And this fan base is ready to erupt and try to inject some energy into this team because they're going to need every little bit of help they can get from the 12th man. As you mentioned, Mount Miguel stacked, and right now with the Mount Miguel team, I'm currently on that side of the end zone. There is something different about what Coach V has cooking down there in Spring Valley, and they have brought it all the way up here to Oceanside, and they're about to lay it down before us on the table as we head into fall here in San Diego. It is certainly shaping up to be a special evening of high school football.
Jonathan Rifkin, thank you so much. We'll check him and Jonathan throughout the night here. 4-1, Mount Miguel, the number 8 team in the section, coming here to Oceanside looking for their second win. As Jonathan mentioned, beating Helix for their first of the season. They've gotten some transfers in. Wyatt Gully, whose dad and brother went here, a legacy family for the Pirates. They're transferring in. They're getting eligible in Oceanside, maybe trying to make a run with that huge schedule. The second toughest in the San Diego section, getting ready to host Mount Miguel and the Matadors here tonight. And as we get you set for high school football in the San Diego section, here at the end of September, it is a wonderful, cool evening. Starting to turn the page to fall and getting you set for the opening kickoff. That's coming up next. You're watching the San Diego section high school football game of the week, brought to you by TVX Sports Video.
September 27th, Rugby Sevens is back. From Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California, it's Stop 1 of the West Coast Sevens. Watch all the action live on YouTube at TVX Sports Video. Just off the 5 freeway, John Carroll, the legacy program here at Oceanside. And now Fale Pumele, who won 2 titles in 97 and 99 as a player for the Oceanside, has taken over this program. Both sides went to the D1 playoffs a year ago. It was the number 8 seed, Oceanside, the number 5 seed, Mount Miguel. We're matching up here tonight as we come to the regular season in 2025. Jack Cronin, Tommy Morris, Jonathan Rifkin with you here tonight. The Pirates are wearing the green jerseys and pants with the white helmets. And Mount Miguel in the red, black, and white. Up from Spring Valley and ready to go here tonight for the number 8 team in the section.
Yeah, and Jack, I don't know what the capacity crowd is here on this home side, but it is overfull. I don't know what it is, but we got people standing room only on this side. I know from our angle, or the one you're going to see on our screen, you're going to be pointing towards the away stands, but trust me, on this home side, it is full and loud. You're going to hear a lot of cowbells tonight, so it should be a fun one.
Oceanside is going to kick things away to begin this game, which means we'll see the Mount Miguel offense for the first time. Jeremiah Loper, the junior quarterback, and all of the weapons they have. Guys like A.J. Logan, Brandon Arrington, Paris Vernon, Delonte Williams, Jaden Hunter. These guys can move the football with the best of them.
And the two guys back right now are Arrington and Logan, two guys you never want to have the ball you're the opponent. So kind of terrible choice here either way for kicker.
Try and get it away from him toward the sideline, and it will be taken at about the 15-yard line. So a short kick is the strategy. But Paris Vernon is there on the return. The 5'10 senior going to San Jose State next year.
Yeah, you don't want to kick it to those two deep guys, but unfortunately your next choice would be another Division I commit and arguably one of their best offensive weapons as well in Paris Vernon. You see him on the top of your screen wearing number 0. He's a great wide receiver and a great option for the Matadors.
So here is Jeremiah Loper. 1,100 yards, 59% completions, 10 touchdowns, and 2 picks on the year. Behind him is Jaden Hunter, who's got offers from places like Minnesota and Arizona, UAB and UNLV, averaging 7 yards a carry on the season for the Matadors. That's our first play from scrimmage. Mount Miguel going with a no-huddle look. Let the hurry up in the no-huddle. And a quick toss to the far side. Pass is complete. And it's Paris Vernon who got the kickoff return against the first reception for the Matadors.
Yeah, it looked like hitches all the way around. A good way to get the quarterback going. Nice, easy pitch and catch. And Paris Vernon 2 for 2 on getting the ball today.
Quick toss. Immediately there on the tackle. Anthony Flats, the senior corner for Oceanside. There's Vernon. These guys, Tommy mentioned that game that we did at Mount Miguel 2 years ago here on YurView. And these guys have been with the program and built it up since that point. And another quick toss to Vernon on the other side. So he's 2 for 2 on this particular drive after the initial look on special teams. And it'll be third down.
Yeah, and again, with trips the opposite direction, a lot of times you have a choice route on that single receiver side. They're going to give them a huge cushion, so they'll take advantage of it and grab a couple 3 yards there.
These guys who kind of built this program up, who've been with the Matadors and built it to where they are, where they're a top 10 team in the section, going after a top spot in D1, or who knows how the season shakes out, toward that open division at the end of the year. So with 4 wide, again, that one batted into the air and incomplete. They're trying to go right back to Vernon. And it's batted down incomplete. Robert Parada, the senior, bats it down.
That's the third time in a row they've done the exact same thing. I guess they're basically saying if you're going to play off coverage, we're just going to keep throwing it to them and taking the free, what should be really 5 yards on a route like that, but unfortunately for Vernon, he's been getting 2 and 3. So he needs to run it a little bit deeper. He needs to realize he's got a little more room than that, and they're going to go for it.
4th down and 5 from their own 25-yard line. Looking over to the sideline.
This might be a draw offside situation.
Yeah. When you have that no huddle, you can have plenty of time to get up and try and use a little misdirection at the line.
Yeah, I'm taking time here. There is a lot of teams have a play that's just no play, and it sounds like that's probably what they're calling from the sideline. Hurry up, get to the line, and try and get them to jump, and they'll take the 5 yards. Don't want to waste a timeout this early in the game.
Yep, and so they'll just punt it away.
Verlaine's mad about something. Maybe he was trying to call timeout and wasn't heard.
So it'll be a punting situation for the Matadors. And the Pirates send S.J. Pumela, the coach's nephew, that legacy family name, back deep to receive. The sophomore at 5'8", 180, just a sophomore. But the impact of that family on this program has been immense, and the legacy continues. Akafalatoy also back deep to receive. This is a shorter kick. And it will be down at the 48-yard line of the Pirates. So we get our first look at the Oceanside offense. And Anthony Bacanero, just a sophomore, 6'3", 185-pounder, 65% completions, 1,000 yards, 8 TDs, 5 picks on the year.
And I think SJ's uncle might have a conversation with him about that, because punt rolling around, get away. Some people say yell Peter, fire, whatever it is, just get out of the area, because if that hits him in the foot, we're having a completely different conversation. We're not talking about Oceanside's quarterback running on the field right now.
That's true.
But fortunately for everybody on the Oceanside side, nobody touched the ball, and good field position for the Pirates.
And they get it right near midfield. In fact, I think it hit one of the
the coverage players, which means it's down at that particular spot. You can look at it on first down now, and we'll be all the way back across midfield to the 45 for the Pirates. So here's Bacaniero out of the shotgun. Sends Pomele in motion. And hands off up the middle. Okay, Latui. The sophomore with the carry. He's got 2 touchdowns on the year and 163 yards rushing.
And if it did hit a Mount Miguel player first, I need to apologize to SJ, because actually what you would want to do in that situation if it hits a Mount Miguel player is just pick it up, because it's a zero risk. You could pick it up, run backwards, and throw the ball through the uprights if you want to. It goes back to where it was touched. So
you can advance it, but you can't get penalized for going backwards for it.
Yeah, nothing bad can happen in that situation.
So there you go. See, so he was
smarter than me. I apologize.
All over it.
Yeah.
So Latuli gets the first carry, goes for 2 yards. Second down and 8 on the end around now. Here is Pomele. Getting to the corner and out of bounds just shy of the 30. It's a first down for Oceanside as they get the football to the 31-yard line, gain of 12.
Another good way to get an athlete the ball here on a jet sweep, and a great block along the edge. I believe, we'll take a look at it here. Good block there by the running back, and then SJ able to take advantage and pick up some nice, easy yards there for the Pirates.
Nakalatule with the block out in front of Pomele. So Pomele goes into the slot to the right side of Bacaniero. Latuli in the backfield. And he'll get the carry right up the middle. Good stutter step move. And down to the 21-yard line. It's going to be very close. About a yard shy, it looks like, of the first down. 2nd and 1 on the way after a 9-yard carry.
Yeah, nice little counterplay here. You see the tight end and the guard loop around, make the nice kick-out blocks, and then a lot of room there for Latule, to pick up some yards.
Spartan Leahy with a nice block. An offensive line position. Josh Jones, the tight end, helping out as well. Out to the far side goes Kaimani Nua. He'll be the lone wide receiver in this formation to the top of your screen, wide right for Oceanside. They pitch it back. Tuli makes a cut, gets the first down, and makes it to the 12-yard line. Maybe 1st and 10 for Oceanside.
And a lot of teams like to run a sweep or any sort of variation of sweep towards that bunch set, and that's exactly what they did. You'll see the bunch set here at the bottom of your screen. And especially when you've got Washington commit, who's normally playing linebacker, out there to lead block, should be something to give you a little heads up. But nonetheless, good play design there by Oceanside.
Easy Tokyo out there helping block. Spartan Leahy again, this time to the near side of the formation. And Lotu Sa'amalu also in there on the block for Oceanside. And up again, but this time he'll be brought down in the backfield. So well done by the Matadors. Driston Williams is headed to Northern Arizona next year. The senior at 6'3", 285 gets the tackle for loss, and it'll be 2nd down and 13.
Yeah, I was able to talk to him on Tuesday. You'll see him on both sides of the ball, Driston Williams. And I'm going to go kind of saying right now, we're going to stack the box and make you throw it, because they've been having trouble stopping this run. And finally found a way to stop running back in the backfield there.
So Driston Williams with the tackle for loss. Bacaniero comes under center here in this first quarter. It's 2nd and 13 from the 15-yard line. There is a first down opportunity before the goal line for Oceanside on the 2nd down and long. Play action. Bacaniero rolls out. Looking deep for the end zone to the far side for Nua. And it's incomplete with a flag coming in. Nua was taken down. Brandon Arrington on the coverage. And Nua draws the penalty in the end zone.
Yeah, that's Texas A&M versus Army right there. Point Army, I guess, with the... Did they throw the flag? I don't see the flag. But if they did throw the flag, that's Point Army there. Nice little boot rollout. It's one-on-one. It's mano-a-mano. The ball is out the back of the end zone, so not catchable, but definitely a lot of contact there. Yeah, they did throw the flag. Excuse me. Arrington, but, in high school, that's kind of smart, right? You'd rather give up the yards than the free touchdown. He doesn't know the ball's overthrown at that point in time, so makes the smart play there and just sort of wraps up the receiver.
So the ball will be moved to the 8-yard line, and it's going to be 2nd down and 6. Again, a first down opportunity before the goal line. Handoff. And down to the 4. goes Latuli. So this is going to be a 3rd and short, maybe a 3rd and 1 or so, 3rd and 2 for the Pirates.
Yeah, and this one you see Latoa Wong in a fullback. That's a pretty big giveaway. They're going to do something a lot like this when you have an extra lineman there in the backfield. He's definitely not getting the ball. So, kind of one of those situations where Oceanside's like, we know, we're going to run power. We don't care. We're still going to run it.
He may have 2 plays here to try and get the first down or find the end zone. On 3rd down and 2. They go the end around. It's Pumele who finds the end zone. Oceanside very, very close. See where they mark him out. Boy, it's real close. And indeed, the Pirates are going to get in. He finds the pylon for the first score of the game.
I think you and I need to have a conversation with the ref stuff at halftime to be a little more clear with some of these calls. Because from our vantage point, obviously TV, it looked pretty clear, but it looked like they had a little confusion on the field. And same exact blocking scheme that we saw on the first play, even to the short side, still worked.
So 6-0 Pirates. It's a bad snap. They carry it to the far side. He won't convert it. So it's going to be a 6-0 lead before Keimani Nua can come on to kick the extra point. It is a low snap, and so it'll just be 6-0 in favor of the Pirates. S.J. Pumele with the end around carry on the sweep. Let's see here as he finds the corner, and he just gets in inside the pylon.
Oh, yeah, he was in there, and he knew it too. We didn't know because nobody put their arms up. But, again, that was similar to the jet sweep they ran on the first play. The first play, they ran it to the wide side, which is the traditional way you want to do it, right, because there's more room. But sometimes you got to run it through the short side, too, just to keep everybody guessing, put that on film, make sure that people know it's available. But they really like that left side. They've been going to that left side over and over and over. That's where Spartan is. And Spartan Lay, his first game as a transfer from El Camino. And if you remember, his cousin, Donovan, was a really good lineman here who played at Arizona after he was done in high school.
Yeah, the Pirates are getting some reinforcements here as they play their 5th game of the season.
Yeah, today's actually, technically, yesterday was the new year for transfers. So anyone who transferred and did the sit-out period, this will be their first game. So we're going to see some names that, especially on the Oceanside side, that a lot of Oceanside fans have not seen before. But I want to say the number's close to 15, and about 7 of them became eligible today. So almost a brand new roster for a lot of schools. 7 new dudes, that's a lot.
So they have the T out there. There was 7:50 on the clock and a 6-0 lead. Oceanside will kick it away. It's going to be short. Again, taken by Paris Vernon. And across the 20 and the 25, Vernon picking up steam. Vernon finally dropped to the 40.
And it's kind of like I was saying, obviously, yes, you don't want to kick it to Arrington, a little scuffle there. You don't want to kick it to Arrington and Logan, but Vernon is just as difficult to tackle. So you really don't have, there's really nowhere to kick it where it's not going to be in the hands of a good athlete.
Matadors have so many options, and this includes special teams.
Yeah, and this one, too, you don't really design a return for an up back, so it's kind of a free-for-all. So it gets a little messy, but Vernon almost broke that one. I thought he was about one move away from potentially tying the game up here.
Anthony Flats with a tackle on special teams. Nice job by the Oceanside Pirates to perhaps save a special teams touchdown. Now 1st and 10 from the 40. Andre Jackson will see a little bit of time for the Matadors. He steps up, looking to throw. Coming deep downfield for Vernon, incomplete. Coverage from Flats on the play. So we saw Loper on the opening drive, and here Andre Jackson, the sophomore at 5'10", 185, with a lefty and a righty for the Matadors.
And Jackson, one of those kids who, it is his new year. First game for him as a Matador. And I thought he had this from our vantage point, just miss it a little bit to the right. But that's a safe throw. If you're going to miss it, that's a good spot to miss it because nothing bad can happen. But, yeah, Coach V wanted to take a shot there, and I think good idea. Try and get the momentum back on your side.
So Jackson running the offense here. He has Jaden Hunter with him in the backfield, and Brandon Arrington as well, who's head to Texas A&M. Arrington goes in motion. They swing it to Arrington in the flat, but it goes incomplete. This is going to be a forward pass incomplete. And a penalty flag for pushing after the play down the field. Looked like Paris Vernon was getting into it a little bit down the field. And let's see who the penalty flag is on.
Jack, there's blocking through the whistle, and then there's blocking well after the whistle, and I believe that's probably what the penalty was, because Arrington had already turned around, picked up the ball, and said something to the coaches by the time Vernon had finished his block. So I believe that's what's going to be.
That's going to be a personal foul against the Matadors.
Yeah, and I mentioned Arrington, they like to throw the ball in the flats. I promise you he's not going to take the ball as a running back. That's just not going to happen given his build, and that is, again, one of those things, pick up in film, kind of a giveaway. He's going to run out somewhere. He's going to run a route somewhere, and you see him flying out there to the outside. That's probably where it's going. And, again, I expect Mount Miguel to go back to that later pump, fake, and go type situation, but they're taking him – they're moving out wide now.
You saw Vernon there with the penalty at the top right of your screen on that replay. So now it's 3rd down and 25 for the Matadors. The penalty happening after the play was over. 7:30 to go in the opening quarter. 6-0 Oceanside. A touchdown and a missed extra point. Penalty flags here on the snap. And it's going to be a false start on the Matadors.
Well, not a lot of coaches have their 3rd and 30 play handy, so there's two ways to handle this. Either just hand it off and basically say, well, we'll get him next drive, or maybe try to get half of it now, and then if you're feeling squirrely, get half of it later. But, I mean, even 4th and 15 is not very desirable. As far as these first 3 drives have gone, this is basically everything Oceanside could have possibly dreamed of, with the exception of the extra point.
6-0 is the lead for the Pirates. Looking for their 2nd win of the season. Mount Miguel looking for their 5th. And another penalty flag comes in.
It's probably the same thing.
That's another 3rd penalty in a row against the Matadors. This is going to be 3rd and 35.
Well, that's one that every coach has to play for, right? 3rd and 35. Now it's a totally different thing. And timeout by Mount Miguel. I mean, this is probably one of those things like, hey, we got to focus. Like, this is not how we play. This is not really indicative of how they've played the first 5 or 4 games, of the season for them. And you can see Coach V not very happy with 25 yards worth of penalties. And you go back to that first one with Vernon. I saw him kind of turn around, and I genuinely don't think he heard a whistle. And I think that was what he was complaining, that there was no noise to indicate to him, because he's not facing where the ball's being thrown, to indicate to him to stop. And if that's the case, I mean, that's just a bummer, because after that 15-yard penalty, it just became a disaster here for Mount Miguel. But, you know, again, on the Oceanside side, probably underdogs going into this game, or they are underdogs going into this game, and they have looked every bit like a favorite in these first 3 drives.
Let's check in on the sideline now with our own Jonathan Rifkin.
Yeah, guys, chippiness was something that this coaching staff at Oceanside knew to anticipate coming into this matchup, Coach. This coaching staff knows that when Mount Miguel comes to the football field, they're bringing in a little bit of extra effort, and they know the culture of this Oceanside team. It's always extra tough to play here, and so both teams are trying to battle through that right now. Coach Patofe telling his team, calm down, got to play our game. Back up to you.
3rd and 35, Jonathan, here for Mount Miguel from their own 15-yard line. Quarterback hit his throws, lost his helmet, completes the pass to Arrington from Andre Jackson. Jackson lost his helmet on the play. Arrington got 5 yards back to the 20. And it's going to be 4th down and 30 for Mount Miguel.
And that could have almost been a disaster. I mean, that hit is clean. That is fine. But you'll see after the play, I believe that was Micah Bellatoy who stood over. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was not. That was Robert Parada who stood over Arrington and kind of flexed on him. That could have easily been 15 on Oceanside. And then we're talking about a whole different situation here, but obvious punt here.
Hezekiah Wells, the senior, with the big hit on the QB. S.J. Pomele is back deep to receive. Had the touchdown earlier on an end-around carry. He's done well in special teams so far. He and Falatoy are back deep to receive. This one's nearly blocked. In fact, we have gotten a piece of it. It's going to take an Oceanside bounce to the 38-yard line. The Pirates nearly got that one. It's a short punt that doesn't even make it back to the line of scrimmage. And the Pirates will take over at the Matador 39-yard line going forward.
And Hezekiah Wells almost ran into that on accident. But he was a guy I talked to during the week, and he said that these D-line guys have a competition to see who's going to get the most sacks. He currently has the most. He came close to that one, too. But and I have a gripe with this here. So that should not be a situation where the quarterback's helmet comes off. When I was coaching, this used to drive me nuts. They used to have the little buckles that came off. Now they're little straps that go up, and none of them do it. And so that happens all the time, and it used to drive me crazy. And it felt like that was one of those situations, too, where he didn't strap it up after the timeout.
There's Anthony Baccaniero and the Oceanside offense already with a touchdown on their first drive. This is their second of the contest. First quarter, 7:17 to play. 6-0 Oceanside lead, a TD and a missed extra point for the Pirates, who lead early on in this first quarter. And a penalty flag comes in. What am I? This is, it's offside against the Matadors. Another Mount Miguel penalty.
And that one was weird because he must have just been lined up that way because it looked fine to me as far as someone jumping early. But, it's one of those things. You just got to be paying attention, and it's lining up on side. You just look where the ball is and situate yourself that way. But another frustrating penalty for Mount Miguel.
34-yard line now. It's 1st down and 5 for the Pirates, who are looking for their second touchdown. Batuli in the backfield for Baccaniero to work out of the shotgun. It's Kaimani Nua, who's the receiver furthest out. Pumele is in the slot. On play action, Baccaniero looking deep for Pumele. It's up and incomplete. What a great play design for Oceanside. It was right there for the second TD of the day. S.J. Pumele just out of his reach.
That's one of those ones where it's just too easy, and then everyone sort of tenses up a little bit, and I am sure that Anthony would like this throwback, because this is a layup in basketball terms. And Pumele, just right out of reach, and he could have thrown that left-handed throw, but that's okay. It happens in high school.
That was 1st and 5. It's 2nd down and 5 now. Great play design. A little misdirection there. Handoff. Tully up the middle. Now he's pushing the pile forward for a 1st down to the 28-yard line.
And that is Oceanside football right there. Running tough. You'll see when we see the replay, you'll see Josh Jones pulling around the right side from his H-back position. And there's Spartan again. We've seen that counter play already. And Matador's having a tough time with both those guys flying downhill on the pull.
Spartan Leahy was just as far down the field as the running back on that block. Neka Latuli with the 1st down carry to the 28-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Pirates. 6:38 to play. First quarter, they lead at 6-0.
Easy's in the game there at another. They've got like 2 H-backs, so that would be something I would focus on if I'm Mount Miguel right now.
Easy Tokyo gets the block. Tully again inside the 20-yard line. This should be enough for a 1st down. What a block from Tokyo there, the Washington commit.
Yeah, and Wyatt Goalie with a heck of a block, too. You'll see him in the background. But, yeah, look at Tokyo right now flying down the line of scrimmage and just kicking out the end. Huge hole there. And then you'll see Wyatt Goalie finish his block right now at the top of your screen. Man, must be nice to have those guys eligible for this game.
Goalie family, his dad, his brother, Oceanside products, transferring back over from El Camino. Kamani Nua goes in motion. Tuli's in the backfield. He gets the carry up the middle. And flags come in late in this play as he makes it to the 25, to the 15 for a gain of 3. But there are penalty flags late.
We got 2 penalty flags and a mouth guard. We got 3 for 1 there. I like the play design here, dressing it up with a little bit of the orbit motion to hold the linebackers a little bit, get them to go a little wide so you can sneak underneath them to the inside. But felt like it might be a face mask. I'm on fire today. Normally I get them wrong, but I think I'm 3 for 3 right now.
So it is indeed a face mask against the Matadors. Another penalty for Mount Miguel.
Yeah, you see another kickoff block supposed to be happening there, and the running back kind of ran in the way. If he cuts that under the block, we might be talking about 5-6 more yards, but that happened anyway with a face mask. So, same end result.
Timeout for Mount Miguel. So a 6-0 lead for Oceanside, 5:28 remaining in the first quarter, and the Pirates are going for their second touchdown for this opening quarter of play.
Yeah, and if I'm them, I just keep it on the ground because it's been effective. They're not really, they run sort of the same types of plays, just with different dressing, if you will, over and over and over again, and it's working. So, I mean, especially when you've got the H-back and the guard pulling around, Spartan Lay has been dominant. And again, this is his first game for Oceanside, and the coaches must have known week one, like, man, whenever he's eligible, we're going to be a completely different team, and we've seen it tonight.
He's been fantastic, and he's so mobile. I mean, as you mentioned, he's pulled to both sides of the run. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere, and his cousin was the same way, and it's not a secret, or it's not no surprise why his cousin was able to play Division I football and start, I think, for all 4 years. He seems to be on that path, and you can teach how to pull, you can teach how to block, but you can't really teach 6'3", 275. That just kind of happens on its own. So, again, maybe a guy we see playing Division I at some point. He's only a junior, so there's still time for that, but has been very impressive so far in this first quarter.
Spartan Leahy is 75. Lotu Salamau is also 77 there on that offensive line for Oceanside. Coming in. 1st and 2 after all the penalties. Here is Palomalu. And Pumele with the carry, maybe close to the first down for S.J. Pumele. He makes it to about the 8. They're going to move the chain. So it's going to be 1st and goal now for the Pirates on that Pumele run.
And that's a nice little wrinkle because they're used to seeing that motion with the puller, but now you give one of them the ball. So what you're hoping is that the defense is looking at the running back, and all of a sudden the guy with the ball is 10 yards downfield. Mount Miguel did a good job kind of sniffing it out, though.
Another great block from Isaiah Tokyo, who's headed to Washington.
And he's just doing that for fun, by the way. He's normally a defensive guy. Go out there and hit somebody, whatever.
Man,
yeah,
just clearing the way. So this is 1st and goal officially for Oceanside. All the penalties, and they're moving the football. And this is a kind of a broken play and a bobbled snap. Well done to break that one up.
Yeah, I believe that was probably initially supposed to be a handoff, but quarterback's been, you get taught if there's something wrong with the snap, you got to just do the job that the running back was supposed to do, otherwise the timing's all messed up. So that was what was trying to be saved there by Anthony, but he had a tough time getting a handle of the ball, so he couldn't make it to the hole.
So it's a loss of 3. This is 2nd and goal from the 11 for Oceanside.
Yeah, timeout here, but Jack, I mean, this is a big possession for both teams. If obviously Mount Miguel can score in bunches if they're rolling the way they normally do. So far we've seen a little bit. I mean, again, very kind of uncharacteristic of them to have this many penalties. They normally don't, but going up 2 scores in a game like this is huge for Oceanside because then they can play the whole time of possession thing and just run the ball and take as much time as they want, which is the way that they're going to pull off what would be, again, quote-unquote, an upset. I thought these two teams were evenly matched going into this, so this isn't necessarily surprising. And that's not a knock on Mount Miguel. I just think Oceanside's a lot better than people give them credit for. So this will be huge if Mount Miguel can keep them out of the end zone. We already saw an issue with the kicking game, so if you're the coach, do you really want to even try the 3 points, even if it's this short? Obviously, Nua has a leg, but anytime that happens in a game, it's the recency bias where it gets you. You start to look over that kid. Can you sure you got a good snap in you right now because you really need it. But yeah, so huge possession here for both teams.
So it's 2nd and goal from the 11. It could be 3 tries for the end zone for Oceanside. You mentioned it. Mount Miguel has the ability to score immediately with their skill guys. They don't have to take too much time, even if they fall behind by multiple scores.
Right.
It's not like the game is over.
And we almost saw it in the last possession when they went deep to pair with Brendan, just missed it by a little bit, but that almost was a quick 6.
So here we go. They overload the left side. Bacanero hands off on the end around. And this is Nua who takes it to the 9. Gain of 2. They overload an unbalanced offensive line, and they piled everybody up to the left side and ran Nua to that side.
And you'll see a late shifting from Mount Miguel. I think they figured it out kind of late. You see 56 running across, but finally get Nua the ball. He's one of their best athletes. We talked about him and interviewed him in the pregame show. They tried to throw it to him on that ball in the corner of the end zone last drive. Just got to get him the ball somehow, and that's a pretty easy way to do it.
Now we got another penalty flag that comes in. It's a warning. It's a sideline warning, so no damage done. It's a warning against the Oceanside sideline.
I will say this. It's really hard to do that on this side of the field. Normally that only happens if a referee almost bumps into you, but no one can leave from the 25 to the 25. The ball is nowhere near that. So that must mean someone was yelling something or the coach was halfway on the field trying to call the play. I didn't quite catch it, but yeah, it's tough to do that when you're in the red zone.
So just a warning. It's 3rd down and goal from the 10 officially. It's inside the 10 just a bit. This is 3rd and goal. Bacaniero to throw on 3rd down for the end zone. It's incomplete.
A good job by the Mount Miguel defense to try to do a switch release there. Both defenders were on top of it, and there was really nothing to throw there. He didn't have a choice, though. Those were really the only two options he had in this concept, and picked the safest one. And again, in the red zone, it's we catch it or nobody catches it. It always is the mindset, and that was one of those nobody catches it situations.
Cameron Salcido, the senior wideout, he's got 4 catches for 89 yards on the year, was the target. So now it's 4th down and goal, and they'll go for it from the 9-yard line.
I'd be willing to bet if the PAT was not a drop snap, they would be kicking it right now. Just a guess.
So 4th and goal from the 9 for Oceanside. Looking for their 2nd touchdown of the day. Latuli's in the backfield with Bacaniero. He's got 4 wide here. Rolling to his right, still rolling, throwing, it's incomplete. He's trying to find Nua just inside the pylon, and Mount Miguel with a stand on a goal-to-go situation. They hold.
I love that play call, too. So you're going to get the corner route, normally get those 2 ins with it, but they do it with a whip. So I'm sure they showed on film over and over and over again, corner route and 2 in routes when they roll that way, and then that's the variation of it. So you do get Arrington to jump inside. It was there, just unfortunately couldn't make the throw, but great play call by Oceanside. It just didn't get executed.
So now it's 1st and goal for Mount Miguel. 1st and 10 from their own 9-yard line after defending a goal-to-go situation for the Matadors. Very impressive. Jeremiah Loper is back in there for his 2nd series at quarterback. And this handoff will go out to the 16-yard line. The carry for Jaden Hunter, the junior.
And this is why a lot of schools want Jaden Hunter. That should have been probably a negative 1-yard play, and instead it's +4. Just carrying defenders with him for those extra yards.
Well, on 2nd down now. 2:44 to go, opening quarter, 6-0 Oceanside. Loper back in at quarterback, the junior. Out of the shotgun, high snap! It goes over toward the goal line, and he falls on it at the 1. This is inside the 1-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down, and Mount Miguel's going to be backed up inside the 1.
Yeah, and that's bad. It could have been worse if it was 1 yard deeper, and Loper really had nothing he can do, because when you're a quarterback, you turn around, you have no idea if anyone's right on your back. You got to just kind of slide and get it, and good job by him to get there before the ball crossed the goal line, but now unfortunately they're inside the 1 for this 3rd down.
And he saves the safety, but
for now
it's 3rd down and some 20 yards or so.
You got Hezekiah Wells at the top of your screen just licking his chops right now.
On the other side, it's Easy Tokyo. Loper to throw, going deep, and it is nearly picked off by Nua. Incomplete. Kaimani Nua was there. Incomplete. It's going to be 4th down, and Mount Miguel will have to punt from underneath the goalposts.
And Nua, I mean, you're never going to see him drop another pass. I will safely say that. And almost made himself the intended target there. And if he doesn't run into Cam Lockett there, I'm sure that's a pick 6. And Mount Miguel wants a PI for that, but I mean, everyone has the right to the ball. And unfortunately for Mount Miguel, the one in the best position to catch that was Nua. Oh, I apologize. That was Kalani Jordan on Mount Miguel.
Yeah, he's the intended target on the play. This is going to be a short snap on the punt attempt. Short snap to the back of the end zone. Clint Edelman, the punter for Mount Miguel, and it is either blocked or short. Either way, it's going to fall inside the 15-yard line. So that winds up being a 14-yard punt, and Oceanside starts in the red zone.
And I'm going to uncredit SJ, fielding this for whatever reason. But I mean, good job just getting this thing off. It is very, very stressful when you're the punt team and you got to be, snapping it 6 yards instead of 14. I don't know In that situation, it definitely did not hit anyone in Mount Miguel. So, again, you're ready to get the ball on, like, what is the 14. I'm good with that. You know, you don't need to pick up a couple extra yards for no reason there. And, yeah, wow, that would stress me out if I was Oceanside.
So, Pirates will get right back at it, almost the same spot where they had the ball before. Exodus to LA comes in at running back. And he gets the carry up the middle. He'll make it to the 13. It's a gain of 1.
And Zane Rodier with a good tackle there, standing him up. I mean, that's just mano-y-mano right there in the hole. That's like the old school. You actually aren't allowed to say it anymore, but the old school Oklahoma drill where you just kind of line them up and let them go after each other at 5 yards, and great tackle.
Wonderful one-on-one stop. Zane Rodier. So, 2nd down and 9 for Oceanside. To LA remains the running back for Bacanero. Noel Hernandez goes in motion to the slot. 12 catches, 140 yards on the year so far. 4 wide, including S.J. Pomele, who is in the slot, and Kaimani Nua up top to the right side. Handoff to L.A. Inside the 5, it'll be a 1st down and goal for Oceanside.
And they try to get a free 5 there. I haven't seen that before on the fake jet sweep motion type thing. Almost got him to the jump. They did have a little inside zone to the left called. And good blocking, and he bounces it to the outside to get them. You know, I envision they're going to go for it on 4th down again. So they got 2 chances at it from here.
So here we go. Goal to go situation. 26 seconds left in the quarter. Bacanero coming under center. And off to L.A. And he'll make it down to the 1. 2nd and goal on the way for Oceanside from the 1-yard line.
And my apologies, I thought it was already goal to go. So, yeah, they get 3 more chances at it. We'll probably see it on the other side of the field, though, because they're about to hit the quarter, and I would imagine they're going to wait.
So, 6-0 Pirates after our first 12 minutes. Oceanside knocking on the door again as we come to the end of the first quarter. Switching sides here with the Pirates out in front. The CIF San Diego section game of the week brought to you by TVX Sports Video.
Good job.
Saturday, September 27th, Rugby Sevens is back. From Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California, it's stop 1 of the West Coast Sevens. Watch all the action live on YouTube at TVX Sports Video.
As the Pirates lead at 6-0 over Mount Miguel, the number 8 team in the section, and they're knocking on the door. They've got 2nd and goal from inside the 1. Let's check in with Jonathan Rifkin on the sideline.
Yeah, guys, 12 minutes in the books here, and I think it's going just a little bit different than what we anticipated. We knew this was going to be a very physical matchup between Mount Miguel and Oceanside. I think the flags were coming a bit of a surprise, and also just the typical dominance from the line of Oceanside really overpowering that Matadors defensive line, and it's allowed them to push that ball down the field. During the second timeout, I meandered over to the Mount Miguel side of things, and I heard Coach Patofe tell his team, guys, we have to keep our heads in it. I know we came in feeling like we were the top dog, but right now we're not playing like it. Don't lose your focus and find a way to get into the end zone. We'll see if they can do that here in the second quarter.
Great call, Jonathan. Yeah, the difference up front here with guys like Spartan Leahy and Lotu Sa'amalu made a huge difference for Oceanside. Exodus to LA is now in the backfield behind Bacanero. Bacanero takes it himself, and he jumps over the line. He's going to be in for the touchdown.
And yeah, kind of a good giveaway there is when the quarterback's leaning forward. That's probably going to end up being a QB sneak, and good job getting in. It was close. He had to go up top to go get it, but Oceanside cashes in on this 3rd drive, and we've seen, like you mentioned, dominance on the line. They marched down the field on the 2nd drive, too, just couldn't punch it in. And the defense has set them up with great field position on all 3 drives. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Mount Miguel has a 1st down yet. So Oceanside's defense is leading the offense, and they're going to go for 2 here to try and make it 14 to kind of even out for that missed extra point.
And then a bad snap on the first touchdown PAT. So they'll go for 2 here. Bacanero has Latuli in the backfield now with him, who comes back into the contest. 11:54 to go in the first half. Now it's 12-0 Oceanside. Here's the try. Going for 2. Bacanero under pressure. Gets rid of the football. And it's incomplete. Finally broke 3 of the possible sack and found S.J. Pumeli in the end zone, but the throw just a little bit off, and it won't be good.
Yeah, I mean, I know obviously not the result, but pretty impressive play here. I don't even know I got it off, and there was a guy there, and Pumeli had a chance, just couldn't reel it in. I think he was almost as surprised that we were that he got out of that sack, and then all of a sudden the ball's on top of him. So it'll be 12-0. Like we mentioned last quarter, 12 is not a lot of points for Mount Miguel to catch up on. They're fine. I would be interested in seeing, actually we do see it now, Brandon Arrington has moved up a little bit. I don't know if he's just doing that for now, but I think they want to try and sneak him up there so that he can get instead of Vernon, because they're discussing now who goes where.
It was Tristan Williams who nearly had the sack on the 2-point try. The quarterback hurry, it winds up being, in the incomplete pass. Headed to NAU, Tristan Williams. So back deep is Gianni Porfilio. And they have moved up Jaden Hunter and Paris Verdon and Brandon Arrington. Let's see where Oceanside wants to go from Nua. It's another short kick. This one will be taken shy of the 30-yard line by Hunter, who's got a little bit of room to work here. Across midfield, it finally knocked out of bounds. It's Nua, the kicker, who finally knocks him out. The strong safety on defense. But he gets the ball all the way down to the 41-yard line.
And that gets a heart pumping if you're the Oceanside defense, or sideline, because that was dangerously close to what would have been Vernon and Arrington's area, but this is another bad guy to kick it to. I mean, Mount Miguel has figured out, as has been evidenced by the first couple of kicks, just put our better guys up forward, and if they want to kick it deep to A.J. Logan, that's also terrible too. But in high school, you don't see a lot with one guy back just because it's difficult for a high school kid to cover all that distance. But when you have a good athlete like that, you might as well give him a chance.
They officially marked the ball at the 44-yard line. Jeremiah Loper back in for his 3rd series at quarterback. We did see Andre Jackson in for 1. 4 wide now with Hunter in the backfield. Just had the return. Where Mount Miguel can look, possibly even change plays if they want on this no-huddle offense. And another whistle and a stoppage. This is to delay a game.
Took them too long to get it in, and that, a lot of teams do this too. It's called a check with me, so they just line up. Coordinator wants to see formation versus formation, and then they call the play afterwards. That time it just took them too long to get it in. But, I mean, man, this is, again, not very normal to see Mount Miguel struggle like this just to get going.
Yeah, so many penalties in this game so far. 1st down and 15. Quick toss far side to Vernon, who picks it up, and Vernon will head out of bounds. Maybe even lose a yard on the play. Back to midfield. It's going to be 2nd down and 16.
I mean, it's got to be pretty scary for Vernon. You see Easy Tokyo flying just directly at you. Straight shot here, but Vernon gets himself out of the way before Tokyo could lay the wood. That would have been, I'm telling you, when I interviewed him, he's way bigger than whatever he's advertised at. That would have been a shot.
Easy Tokyo headed to Washington next year. Here he comes on pressure. It's fired away to the far side and completed to the 38-yard line. Well done by Tamarian Williams, the sophomore, to make the catch. He's got a couple of touchdowns on the year already. He makes this catch to make it 3rd and short.
And he's a guy we're going to be talking about with Division I offers pretty soon, too, I think. Good route there. And Mount Miguel needed that, just a little bit of confidence, and also, obviously, just to get it closer to 1st down. And this is 4-down territory for them, so they got 2 chances to get these 6 yards.
Williams, just a freshman. 6'1", 140 as a freshman. 8 catches, 200 yards, 2 TDs on the year for the true freshman. Handoff here, up the middle. It goes to Hunter. And Hunter will take it down to the 29 for a 1st down.
Yeah, and Hunter, the guy we saw return the kick, one of their better athletes as well. And I'm just telling you, it's just going to take a second, but this Mount Miguel offense is going to get humming, and this is going to be a nail-biter towards the end of this game.
Mount Miguel seems to get the offense going. Now Hunter on the carry. Again around the right side. Another first down for the Matadors. Well, they hadn't got much going on offense, and all of a sudden they have turned on the Jets.
Yeah, and the way they run their offense, they can go pretty fast and line up. They like to use this pistol formation that we just saw. There's a few reasons for it. Obviously, helps keep everything a little more deceptive. And then also if they want to run the ball like they just did, they can choose which side later and figure out based on the blocking scheme and the defensive alignment what makes the most sense. That looked like it was supposed to go left, and then Hunter just bailed on it because he found a bounce out to the right side.
Macafalatoy finally brought him down. First down up the middle again. Hunter with the carry to the 15-yard line, gain of 3.
Yes, and they look like GT counter there from Mount Miguel out of that pistol set again. And kind of like I was saying earlier, you pick which defensive tackle is lined up the way you want, and then you go after that. And look like they like the left side better. Just great job by Oceanside stopping it.
Hezekiah Wells. You have Vasily on the stop. That's another sideline warning, this time for Mount Miguel. So no penalty, just a warning. Both sidelines have been warned in the game.
The next one's for real, no matter which sideline now.
That's right.
It's kind of like in baseball when they both hit a guy, and now it's for real.
2nd down and 8 is the number. Mount Miguel, their best drive by far of the game so far. Porfirio goes to the right side of the line. Vernon, the senior, headed to San Jose State in the slot. The freshman, Tamarian Williams, is wide left for Loper. Standing in, firing away, looking for the end zone, and it is there for the touchdown. Gianni Porfirio with his 2nd of the year.
And that was a heck of a catch there. I was trying to see what they were trying to do on the wide side, and then before I could even figure out what was going on, A.J. Logan had the ball in the end zone. And the Oceanside coaches told me this week, I know all these guys have stars and whatever, but 5 is their best player. 5 is the guy we got to look out for, and this is why. This is just one-on-one and an unbelievable catch, and look at the feet, too. What a play.
A.J. Logan at Boise State, the senior. Now for the extra point, Clint Edelman. The hold, Gregory Jefferson. High snap. Edelman's going to have to take this one. He's going to try and throw it for the conversion, and it's taken away.
That was almost every kicker's dream right there. The ball ends up in his hands. He did have a guy open there. That's the fire drill. Whenever something goes poorly on PAT or kickoff, everyone yells fire, 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 and then somebody's got to run to the corner of the end zone. In an emergency situation, we have a flag, though.
Flag came in after the play was over.
See what it is. I didn't see anything egregious.
So penalty on the Pirates, an unsportsmanlike call after the play against Oceanside will go on the kickoff. So it's 12-6. A.J. Logan with his first play of this game. Haven't seen anything from him yet because they hadn't had the offense going.
Not only that, they haven't kicked him the ball yet. They basically dared him to on that last kickoff. Like, we've got a bunch of athletes standing in front of them. They're probably not, guys who are used to blocking. If you want to kick it deep, go ahead and try. And that should tell you the amount of respect that Oceanside has for A.J. Logan. Like, absolutely not. We'd rather your starting running back or other starting receiver catch it on the 30 than let that guy even have a chance at it again.
So a look at the play from Logan, this time from the end zone. And just comes to the pylon high into the air.
Also, great ball by Loper there, just making sure that kind of like we said earlier, in the red zone, it's our ball or nobody's. Put that in a good spot for A.J. Logan, kind of that back shoulder fade. And that is a play, I'm telling you, like quarterback, receiver, whenever the defense is doing stuff and if you have a guy who doesn't play defense at all, you're just working on that over and over and over because that's a timing route that when you get it right, it is literally impossible to stop. And that was good defense, too. It's not like the defender was out of position, but, I mean, if you throw and catch that right, it is quite literally impossible to stop.
So with the 15-yard penalty added on after the try, this is an opportunity if you wanted to do something different on the kickoff. You have the spot on the field where it is available. S.J. Pomeli is back deep for Oceanside if they even want to kick it deep right now.
And Clint Edelman has had kind of a crazy day. He had to punt it out of the back of the end zone, then he almost threw a touchdown there.
And we have a whistle before the kick. That was going to go deep.
That's another, probably looks like false start on Mount Miguel, and I would imagine even still from this point, even 5 yards back, Edelman can safely just kick it out of the back. I would probably just tell him to do it again. But you're right, though. This could be one of those ones if you want to onside it from there, it's not the worst thing in the world. Give yourself a chance to get the ball back. Plus, it's not like you're giving free field position to Oceanside.
Right, because at the moment, they're kicking from the 45. That was before the whistle.
Yeah, that's when I just tell them kick it deep, because at 10 yards, it's not that big of a difference now. Let's see what we got. Nothing was signaled, but we're going to have that halftime discussion, Jack. I think we got to go down there. We got to make some demands.
Right.
Lay the law down.
All right, so now A.J. Logan's going to kick.
And again, if you're the Oceanside coaching staff, that should signal something. That's not normal. This could be their onside kicker. Something weird is going on, and so this front, they've got They got 7 guys up front. Those guys got to be alert right now because something abnormal is about to happen.
So Logan, who caught the touchdown, is going to come on to kick. His 5th touchdown of the year. And this will go over the head of Pomele into the end zone.
Well, I don't know what the point of that was then.
I don't know if they had to take a player off, like on a requirement or something, or...
I mean, if it was anyone, it was Edelman.
Right, and so he came off, and I don't know.
I mean, the only thing I can think of, the thing that annoys coaches more than anything is if they don't have their knees covered with their knee pads or something like that. Some weird equipment issue.
Like the
and then they
helmet
come
wasn't on right, or the knee pads, or the thigh pad, whatever it was.
The knee pad one always drove, or it still does drive everyone crazy because it's such an easy fix. I think they're not as harsh on it now as they were. I'm not going to knee pad check every single kid as they walk in the field here because I'm not going to rat on them like that. But I see a couple uncovered knees.
It's 12-6. Oceanside in front. 9:19 to play in the first half. Now both sides have found the end zone. A.J. Logan with a great catch on the last drive. And Oceanside goes right back to the ground. Now we've seen the differences in these two offenses. The quick strike potential of Mount Miguel, who could put up a ton of points, and the way Oceanside controls the lines.
Yeah, very methodical for Oceanside. And that, too, option to flip it out there to the wide receiver screen if you want towards the bunch side. They like the numbers on the run, so they hand it off. And I think that was the correct choice.
Neka Latuli with the carry. Gets 6 yards at 2nd down and 4. He's won the backfield with Bacanero. Pomele in motion. And they hand off. Great play. Latuli up the middle. He's got room to run. Plenty of real estate to work with, and he'll finally be brought down inside the 25.
And he said, take that. We can't quick strike because they're running the ball. I love that play design, too, and I've said that a million times. Very creative here by Oceanside. You have Pomele on that weird sort of motion and loop around, and that drew all the attention away. And I'm telling you, if anybody except for Brandon Arrington is playing corner for Mount Miguel, that's a touchdown. But unfortunately for Oceanside, that's the fastest person in San Diego, tracking him down, getting a good angle. But heck of a play design, heck of an execution there for the Pirates.
Officially down to the 22-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Pirates. Latuli gets a well-deserved breather. And Ta'ele comes in the backfield. He gets the carry. And he'll step out of one tackle, get down to the 18 for a gain of 4.
And again, Oceanside doing a great job just dressing up all these runs. A lot of them are just the same thing, and you talk to a lot of coaches, a cheap way to get a quote-unquote different play in is just to add a motion, do it out of different formation. They've done a bunch of different motions in misdirection. That time it was just a straight jet motion there, and it's all working. I mean, it's keeping the Mount Miguel front 7 kind of in check. They have to hold their water for a second before they figure out where the ball is. And, I mean, Oceanside has been very, very impressive on the ground.
2nd down and 6. Ta'ele remains in the backfield. Pomele and Nua are out wide. And they go right up the middle, but the initial hit is there, and he's not going to get anything else.
And the way to kind of counter what I was just saying is if you read the line, normally they'll tell you where the ball's going. So they have that jet motion, but you see a tight end flying across the formation. That's probably where it's going to end up. And a good job by the Mount Miguel front 7 figuring that out. And that was really the first time we've seen, or I guess second time, we had that one 2 drives ago. We see Mount Miguel make contact in the backfield.
Kadifugo's got an offer from Oregon State, was the one who made the initial contact.
I can see why.
For Mount Miguel. just a sophomore. Now it's third down. Macaniero throwing over the middle to Nua, who makes the catch in traffic. What a job to hang on to the football. Wow. All the way down to the 6. So we got a penalty flag that comes in late.
Yeah, that was probably some chirping afterwards, but we mentioned in the open, Army kids are tough, right? You got to be tough to catch this ball. You know you're going to get drilled. Unbelievable catch there by Nua, and man, I mean, it takes a special kind of kid to run that route and make that play.
That is as tough a catch as you'll see. Well done by Nua to hold on to it. Then, afterward, Oceanside's going to be called for a penalty. So this is a penalty after the play.
Somebody said something to somebody that you're not supposed to. Because it wasn't anything physical. It wasn't like there was a late hit or anything like that. It was verbiage. Again, if you're an Oceanside coach, that drives you nuts too, because that's such an avoidable thing. You just got to run back to the huddle, let your play do the talking. But there's been a lot of back and forth this game.
So the 15-yard penalty moves the football to the 21-yard line. Nua goes out wide for that great catch. He is to the left of the formation. And Lutuli is in the backfield. On what is now first down and
I think it should be first down. I don't know why, because in theory, if it's after the play, you have to do whatever the result of the play was, and then you assess the penalty. So it should be first and goal, I believe.
Yeah, it's first and goal from the 21. I think he announced second, but they have it correct on the field.
If you look right now,
they're going to put the chains back up. So it's going to be first down and 10 from the 21.
That is correct, actually. Yeah, that's the way it should have been.
All right. So well done on the field. First down and 10 from the 21. Lutuli on the pitchback. And he will get maybe a yard. It'll be second and 9.
And at some point, they tried it in the first quarter. At some point, you've got that one-on-one matchup with Nua and Arrington at the top of your screen, as you see there. And it's basically just he's shadowing him. Nua did a funny thing. When you know it's a run, you know the guy's playing man coverage, you can just stand there, do nothing, and that's as effective as blocking, which is what Nua did there. But at some point, I would imagine Oceanside gives it a try, because it's not – Nua's also a Division I player too, I know Arrington's a guy going to play in the SEC and going to play Texas A&M, but Nua's a good player. I mean, actually, now they're going to leave Arrington on that side and let him cover somebody else.
So Pumelli in the slot, Nua wide. Cameron Salcido's on the other side. And he will get it on the carry, looking to throw now. Salcido looking to throw to the end zone. This one is caught for the touchdown. It's Nua who hauls it in. What a play.
He's also a Division I athlete. And that time, very intelligently, they moved him over to the other side to give him a different matchup so he didn't have to be on Arrington. And, I mean, it's not like Porfilio's slouch either. He's also going to play Division I. So you've got 3 different Division I guys on the perimeter. And that's one of those ones, again, you tell the receiver, please don't throw it if it's covered, because this isn't your normal thing. And I think they're going to bring this back, actually.
I
think
looks like this is such a great play. We should celebrate this, but
it was just ripped away. It was an interception for half of a second.
Unfortunately, ineligible man downfield. On a flea flicker, that happens.
It does happen.
How fun is that play?
It happens, but I mean, actually it shouldn't happen, because they should be pass blocking. So generally, when that does happen, it's one of the linemen gets confused and starts running downfield, because that really shouldn't, unless he didn't know what the play call was, which is very possible.
But still, I don't want to take away from how awesome that play was. Oh, man. So, resetting. Empty backfield, 5 wide now for Oceanside. Penalty as this one's complete to S.J. Pumele to the 19-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 5. And it will be third down for the Pirates. Third down from the 19-yard line as Pumele gets the catch.
Yeah, we're talking about the Mount Miguel penalties in the first quarter. Now these ones in the second quarter for Oceanside have kind of been killing them. But back to the double pass, flea flicker, whatever you want to call it. I know how that probably happened, because they probably have a run play that's called that, and then you had pass at the end. So the lineman probably didn't hear the word pass and started running downfield. I know how that happens. It's frustrating, but again, when it's loud like this, both teams are having trouble here.
Third down and 8 from the 19. Pumele goes in motion. And Bacaniero turns around and fires for Nua, who makes the catch, trying to find room to run, but can't. And he only gets a yard. A lot going on that play, but it's only a 1-yard gain, and now it's going to be 4th and 7 for Oceanside. We'll see if they leave the offense out there.
Another creative play design. So you roll left and then flip around and then throw the screen pass to the right. You see the lineman flying down there too. And, yeah, I mean, it just, unfortunately for Oceanside, Chance Bailey figured it out and was able to be there for the stop. But if it wasn't for him, that could have gone for 6.
So 4th down and 7. They're going for it. Mount Miguel's already come up with 1 4th down stop in this game, and now Oceanside will call their first timeout. The Pirates will call timeouts. Father Pumele, the third-year head coach, taking over a winless team in 2022 and then going back-to-back 7-win seasons. The Pirates this year have the second toughest schedule in the section, and they lead this one 12-6 over the number 8 team in San Diego.
You know, I will say this, they can't get 7 wins this year, or they can, 1-3, right? Yeah, they can. Sorry. If they win out, they can get 7 wins. I apologize. I was thinking 4-1, which is what Mount Miguel is. But this has been, from my perspective, the most impressive of the 3 seasons just because of the competition level that you mentioned. In a game like this where they're dominating line of scrimmage, and that's what we're used to in an Oceanside team. We're used to big, strong kids pushing people around and doing whatever they want, essentially, on the ground. And that's what we've seen so far tonight. And this is a huge, huge, huge 4th down here because going up 2 scores and then potentially you're getting the ball back at half, so you're not leaving Mount Miguel a lot of time, and then you could potentially be up 2 with the ball to start the third quarter.
4th down and 7 for the Pirates, trying to convert with 3 minutes left in the half. A 12-6 lead for Oceanside. The two sides combining for 3 touchdowns, but no conversions afterward for either side. And now Bacaniero working out of the shotgun on 4th down. He'll look to throw over the middle. It's incomplete. Trying to find Nua, incomplete, and it's going to be a turnover on downs.
And that's good coverage there by Gianni Porfilio because, again, he was the guy who should have had the interception and then got the ball ripped away from him, was running with Nua, and there's a lot of room there for Nua to run. And, yes, it was physical, and I know Nua wanted a holding or pass interference, but, I mean, you're not going to get that call. I mean, this is going to be a physical game back and forth, and they're going to let him play, which I personally like. And, yeah, so no ticky-tack call there.
Well, it's a shame for Oceanside that the flea flicker doesn't work for a touchdown. Nua had the great catch at the 6. Then there was a penalty afterward. He had the great catch in the end zone. That was called back on an illegal man downfield. So penalties have hurt both sides in this game. Now Jeremiah Loper had that great touchdown pass to A.J. Logan last time out. Brings his team back on the field with 3 minutes left in the half, and this one is overthrown trying to find Brandon Arrington. Incomplete.
I'll tell you what, that's pretty hard to do because Arrington is, and I've said it I think 3 times already, is the fastest kid in San Diego, and you do tell, if you're Mount Miguel, you tell the quarterback, you're not going to outthrow him. Just throw it as far as you can because I promise you he's going to run under it. That time it actually happened. So, hey, again, good miss there for Loper and not bad coverage at all there by Flats for Oceanside because your matchup against a kid who is, again, arguably the best athlete on the field.
Headed to Texas A&M next year. 6'3", 190-pounder. This is 2nd and 10. 3 minutes to play in the half. Loper rolls to his non-throwing side. Squares up and fires. Deep downfield, incomplete. Arrington was the closest player there thrown out of bounds. It's going to be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think Arrington kind of messed that up, or from my perspective might have, because that's a flood concept. Normally you'll get a go ball or a sail route on the outside, and then you'll get a 10-yard depth out and a flat or 5-yard out, you do that. A lot of teams do that when they roll. So you'll see that concept. You'll see 5-yard out, 10-yard out, and then Arrington stops. So Loper just kind of throwing it away, but I think he wanted that. And, again, that was a throwaway ball, but the spacing wasn't there because Arrington stopped kind of where that 10-yard out was.
Yeah, A.J. Logan was coming back underneath, but then Kaimani Nua was closing on coverage. He wasn't open. Get a penalty for encroachment in the offside. He's going to go against James Crespo for Oceanside on the right defensive end spot.
And with these spread offenses, sometimes those problems happen, right? Because there's a lot of variations of each route. When you have a lot of people call it MR, outside mandatory outside release fade. On some play concepts, you're allowed to break it down and stop if you think that you're capped. But on a concept like a flat, you can't do that for that exact reason because you're ruining the spacing. So that might have been a miscommunication there.
3rd down and 5 for Mount Miguel. Jaden Hunter in the backfield with Loper. Hunter goes in motion. Loper to throw. It's incomplete. Trying to find Kalani Jordan. The sophomore incomplete here. It's 4th down and 5.
Yeah, and Jordan, he kind of sold me on that PI for a second. I thought maybe they give it to him. Watch this. it kind of exaggerated that tug a little bit. I don't think the ball was catchable either way. But, again, like as we said on the last drive, these little ticky-tack ones are not going to get called tonight, which I enjoy because we don't want it to be a flag show, even though it sort of has been a flag show for the majority of this game.
Well, good coverage then from Micah Falatoy, the senior, and Mount Miguel will have to punt. S.J. Pomele is back deep to receive. The punt earlier from Edelman was out of the end zone, wound up only going 14 yards. This is another low snap. It's a bobbled snap, and they're going to cover him up. All the way back at the 12-yard line. That's where Oceanside will take over.
And Edelman's eventful day continues. I mean, he's kind of had what is a lot of improvising has had to be done today for him. And that you can't expect your punter to field that clean. And that's just a tough snap. And yeah, that's really all he could do there. And Oceanside, again, with good field position. It feels like every time they've had the ball, it's been here. So that 12 on the scoreboard is every bit as indicative of how good the defense is playing, almost more so than the offense.
Capenassano and Isaiah Tokyo. Easy Tokyo on the cover-up. Tokyo's now in an offense. We've set some great blocks in the run game. 1st down and 10. Ball inside the 15-yard line. Handoff. Latule on the hesitation will take it to the 11. So Neka Latule.
One of the fans not like the misdirection, but yeah, on that play, you're trying to show like it's going to be tossed right and then hand it off underneath to the left. And, you'll see Tokyo again pulling across. And like I said earlier, all the fancy stuff in the backfield is fine, but if you're a defender and you're reading the guards, reading the pulling, what we call an H-back, you'll still get to the right spot. And Mount Miguel doing a good job not getting distracted like they were in the first quarter with all the fancy stuff in the backfield.
12-6 Oceanside. 2 minutes to play in the first half. And up again, Latule up the middle, breaking free. Knocked down on first contact. He takes it all the way to the 2. That'll be 1st and goal for the Pirates.
He is very hard to tackle. This is classic Oceanside football. I said it already in the first quarter. And it's really, really hard when one person can't tackle. You count for numbers in the box, right? And when you need 3 to tackle 1, the math doesn't tend to work out in your favor if you're the defense.
Lincoln Mangeo, who's got about 18 college offers there, was pushing his guy so far out of the way that he was the one who was right there for Latule. And now it's 1st and goal for the Pirates. Bacaniero. And Zavatuli trying to spin his way forward on second effort, right down. He's in! 3rd touchdown of the day for Oceanside.
And Oceanside, again, they don't need to hide it. They'll tell you exactly what they're doing. They're going to run the ball, and it's still going to work. Latule went to the sky there, which I don't know if he needed to, but the way he's been running on the ground, just powering through with his legs, running through 5 guys at a time, I think he probably could have done that, but ends up landing in the end zone. Oh, I see the angle. Yeah, there you had a nice little window there you could have jumped through, but yeah, good job turning the feet even after he hits the ground, and touchdown Oceanside, and I don't think a lot of people thought this would be the score at halftime.
Lincoln Mangeo getting the block low. Lotu Salamalu in there as well. That great offensive line for Oceansiders. Nua for the extra point attempt. It is up and good. So our first PAT of the game comes late in the second quarter, and it's 19-6 in favor of the Pirates.
Yeah, and of all the things in football that are normally not hard to do, so far the PAT's been the hardest for both teams, and we finally got it. We've seen some trick plays, some huge, passes running through a million people, but the extra point has been what's eluded everybody so far tonight, and we finally got one.
By the way, all those guys we're talking about on the offensive line for Oceanside are all juniors.
Yeah, and talking to the coaching staff this week, they're like, if you think we're good now, just wait a couple years, because you got a bunch of juniors who are starting, and you have a starting sophomore quarterback, which is, it's a dream for your coach, because you're going to get a senior with 3 years of experience, and he obviously he's a great player, but beyond that, it's very rare to have somebody who's got 2 full years of varsity experience as a starting quarterback. Massive advantage, and then again, being in the same offense for that long too, that you basically going to have a second coach on the field by the time of the senior.
Amalu's a junior, Leighton's a junior, Mangao's a junior up front on that offensive line. S.J. Pumele's a sophomore, Anthony Bacanero is a sophomore. You got Tokyo and Nua, who are the seniors, you guys are going to go play D1 football next year. This is Hunter who takes the return. They'll immediately be snowed under. Back at the 27. And coverage for the Pirates.
And Hunter took a pretty bad hit there. I think he might be hurt. Late after kind of he was wrapped up, somebody came flying in and finished the tackle aggressively. And yeah, Hunter is still down. That looked painful. And you'll see it kind of here at the run. He's wrapped up, and I believe, I don't want to give a number and be wrong, but you'll see it coming out of the left side of your screen right there. And I'm assuming that's probably what caused the injury.
So an injury timeout here in Oceanside, 19-6 in favor of the Pirates, as they tend to Jaden Hunter, the outstanding junior running back for Mount Miguel.
Yeah, that's really a bummer. I mean, again, that's one of those things. If this is college, that might be a targeting that felt a little bit late and unnecessary. And that is a definition as well as helmet to helmet on a defensive player, because he can't do anything, right? He's stuck. He's wrapped up. He's on his way down to the ground, and just, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm assuming the refs didn't see it, but to me that felt a little late.
Great to see Hunter get up for the Matadors.
Yeah, and I'd be surprised if we see him the rest of the night. That's pretty typical. Got to put him in some concussion protocol there. Hit to the head. It doesn't matter if he says he's fine. That's one of those things you got to get him checked out as soon as possible.
So that's what they do to the sideline. Of course, you only have 1 minute left before halftime, so they have a lot of time to take a look. And you see Andre Jackson in at quarterback for the Matadors, his second series. And with the injury to Hunter, Zane Rotier will come on as the running back, the senior. .68 seconds left in the half. 19-6 Oceanside. Jackson to throw. Pressured. Flag comes in. He's wrapped up. Tokyo's right there on the stop for Oceanside.
And that's going to be a holding call. I'm assuming that they're going to decline. And with this much time left in the half, I'd be surprised if Mount Miguel tries to throw it. I would just run the ball here and be happy with going into the half like this, because you're going to get the ball back. And, only bad things can happen, I feel like, when you're pressing like this. And just kind of recoup, because again, your starting running back just got hurt, so you're going to have to figure something out, and halftime's a good time to do it. And yeah, they'll decline that penalty. But I mean, we see Mount Miguel with two different quarterbacks now. I think I know they want to get both of them in, get them reps, because they're both good players, right? But I think at this point, I think Loper needs to be the guy for the second half, just because he's looked a little bit more comfortable. And that's not to say anything negative about Andre Jackson, but it is his first game, and it's kind of a tough spot to put him in.
So this goes all the way back inside the 20-yard line to the 18. It'll be 1st and 20 after the penalty. Jackson to the far side, pass complete. And that one goes out to Logan. It got the touchdown earlier for A.J. Logan, headed to Boise State next year. His second catch of the day.
Yeah, and again, Mount Miguel's going to get this offense going in the second half. I'm not worried about that for them, but at this point, it feels a little forced to try and get some going here. They got second down on the right. It should be third, I would assume, right? Because they did not accept.
I think they may have put the penalty in place.
Okay, maybe they did accept the penalty.
So now it's second down and 13. They get 7 of those yards back. 54 seconds on the clock.
I mean, that's one way to solve the problem if you don't have your running back. Just go empty.
And they go 5 wide. Jackson to throw. Pass is complete, and it will be a first down. So they get it out to Brandon Arrington. And it's going to be a first down for Mount Miguel.
Yeah, and he's a guy who's going to get a lot of cushion there, so the hitch route to him is probably always going to be open because he is so fast. And Mount Miguel smartly just taking advantage of it, and I like them going empty here.
So with the injury to Hunter, they go empty, 5 wide, first down and 10. Quick toss again. No, it's incomplete this time. The ball is dropped. I'm going to say it bounced right back to him. The Tamarian Williams.
Had me fooled. I'm very interested in this replay right now because to me, from up here, it looked like it did drop. Maybe it's just his gloves.
Oh, it didn't hit the ground. How about that? Well done.
Those are nice. Those are good gloves, Jack.
Those
things are
fantastic.
Yeah. Whoever makes those, that is a great advertisement right there.
It looked like that ball, the nose of the football is going to hit the ground. It did not. It's a catch for a first down. 18 seconds left in the half. Mount Miguel driving. Jackson hit as he throws. Going deep to the far side. It's going to be intercepted. Anthony Flats with the interception for Oceanside right at the end of the half with 7 seconds to go.
And again, we kind of mentioned this last time. If it's Brandon Arrington running go route, throw it as far as you can because if he can't catch up to it, then good for you. But here's what happens if you don't do that and you sky one and you underthrow it. It ends up in the hands of the defender, and we're probably going to get 15 yards after the fact or half the distance to the goal. I imagine Oceanside will just kneel us out anyway. So there's time to do it, but there's time to do it. But, Mount Miguel was about to prove me wrong there. I kept saying run the ball, run it out, put the other quarterback in, all this stuff, and they were humming and hawing. So, if anything, I do think this gives you confidence in the second half because they can throw against this team. They can't figure it out. There's a lot of pressure in the face there, and it just, again, that's probably what caused the underthrow there. So, Andre Jackson was asked a lot of him on that last drive. I wouldn't be too upset if I was him. He looked a lot better than he did in his first drive that he got. So, yeah, again, I think if you can take a positive from any of it.
Right. And to your point, he got his, he threw that football. So that is a rush forced interception. There is the penalty afterward on Oceanside. It backs them up. And so let's take a knee before halftime from inside the 5. I don't know if they were running out of time on the play clock, or they had too many guys out there, but they call timeout. So 7 seconds left here before they can take the kneel down.
Yeah, I don't really know why. I mean, it's assuming you're just kneeling down. Maybe they didn't have enough guys.
Yeah,
I don't know what was going on there.
Or if they didn't have enough time.
It could have been that too. But yeah, but even still, I mean, I guess you get half the goal against, and maybe you don't have room to kneel it, but it seems pretty straightforward, standard operation here. You tell the referee I'm going to kneel it, and then kneel it.
So 7 seconds left here in the half, and then we will hear, after we go to break, from Jonathan Rifkin, who has been watching this one from the field for us. A 19-6 lead for Oceanside, and there is the kneel down to take us to break. So 19-6 after our first half of play. And the Pirates again to the end zone 3 times in that half, and had a couple more plays where they could have scored even before that. Wind up with the lead at the break, 19-6 in favor of Oceanside. We're coming back. Jonathan will join us on the other side. This is the CIF San Diego Section Game of the Week, brought to you by TVX Sports Video.
Saturday, September 27th, Rugby Sevens is back. From Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California, it's stop one of the West Coast Sevens. Watch all the action live on YouTube at TVX Sports Video.
Halftime here at Oceanside, the northern tip of San Diego County, and it's the Pirates up on the Matadors, 19-6. Welcome here to halftime. Jonathan Rifkin with you. Don't really think that this is exactly the way that you may have anticipated, but it's a heck of a game nonetheless. Oceanside came out, they were firing on all cylinders. They scored on that first drive. We had our first PAT late in the first half. As you see the Pop Warner kids take the field here. It is Pop Warner night. You got the 17s, 19s, and 20s all out here in Oceanside. And by the way, this is an important night. I was hanging out here sideline with some of these fantastic Pop Warner kids, and they said, I want to be on TV. And I said, well, if you get on that football field, you'll have your chance. Oceanside has such a stout Pop Warner program. They develop these fantastic young athletes, and a lot of them come here to Oceanside. And on the other side, Mount Miguel's doing the same thing. You got the 7-on-7 that Coach Patofa and his great coaching staff have had some involvement with, and now you see culture building here at Oceanside. They're showing these young players, the next generation, what it's like to be an Oceanside Pirate. And by the way, they're witnessing an Oceanside presently Oceanside winning here at halftime. But of course, as Tommy Morris says, there is no safe lead against this Mount Miguel team. We saw Brandon Arrington get in on some of that offensive opportunities. Didn't really do much besides the one reception. But it has been a continuity battle here between the offensive Oceanside and the defensive Oceanside, and both are playing incredibly well right now here at halftime. 19-6 for the Pirates. And I think I would say that the most impressive part has just been how calm Oceanside has played. They're playing tough, they're playing physical, and they're executing, but they're not getting drawn in to some of the Mount Miguel shenanigans, if you will, as we bring you the highlights of this first half. And of course, it was the opening touchdown run bustling into the end zone for the 6 right there. And then you look at the response from Mount Miguel, Arrington on the comeback, the helmet coming off. This was really all he was able to do offensively. But again, the defensive line disrupting any sort of big play opportunity by the quarterbacks. Yes, 2 quarterbacks we saw there. But of course, it was going to be A.J. Logan securing the touchdown, the lone Matador touchdown. And how about a little ring around the rosy here and a handoff for a huge gain on the play. The only guy that could get back to stop it from a touchdown was number 2, Brandon Arrington. I know that up top, Tommy's been saying he's the fastest kid in San Diego. He might be the fastest kid in the country. And then, of course, the shot right up the middle looked like it was going to be caught, or rather intercepted, but it's caught. Big hit on the end, and then another ring around the rosy. This was a toss that went downfield on the flea flicker. One of the greatest catches you will see in high school football. Unfortunately, though, as the fans celebrated, it was called back for an illegal man downfield. So not only was the touchdown called back, Oceanside's offense was set back. As you take another look at it here, and then the run up the middle to set this team up and goal. On second down, another opportunity from the 2-yard line, and then Oceanside would eventually find a way to punch it in. And then all it would take was one more defensive stand, and on the Arrington comeback, or yes, that ball was indeed caught. It looked like he had dropped it. That really... And on the last play here, the overthrow, and then the underthrow into the interception. This led to a 15-yard after the play penalty. But you can see how fired up this Oceanside brass is as they find themselves up at halftime at 19-6. Well, the night has just gotten started as the Pop Warner teams make their presence felt on the future football field for their careers. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. When we return, we will set you up for the second half of play. It is the San Diego section game of the week here on Cox YurView Channel 4 and TVX Sports Video. Halftime, Oceanside 19, Mount Miguel 6. Toledo. Gets us underway here in week number 5, back towards the end zone. And that's what will be taken at the 5. A little bit of space out across the 20-25, and that's where this return will be laid to rest. There's Flores in the backfield. From left to right moves Sebastian Tucker. Palmer looking to throw. Palmer looking to run. Palmer gets the first down and then some. Brady Palmer taken off, and he's into the end zone for a Don's touchdown. 41 yards for Brady Palmer, ripping off a huge run to get the scoring going early.
Brady Palmer not known for his legs, but when he needs to use them, why not?
Hold the ball and try to slowly inch your way towards the attacking zone. That is not a slow inch, though. That is a burst of speed for Bryson Callaway, his 3rd carry for a first down. 2nd and 10. Delayed, nope, it's a play action. Pressure coming. A prayer thrown and answered out across the 40. How about that? Hauled in by Dario Bartoletti, the junior. On this opening drive, looking to go 2 for 2. Had a man out left, pocket collapses, running out of time and pressure. Throwing one into coverage, it's intercepted inside the 5. A dangerous pass and a fortuitous grab for the Dons. Flags come flying in, and finally he's taken down near the 40-yard line. The interception by Titus Napoleon, his 3rd of the season. Lee Norman Lester keeping it here and getting swallowed alive by that dynamic defensive line. All drive. Instead, they're going to go to his backup, Isaac Cook, for his 3rd reception in space. Cook staying on his feet. Cook bouncing out left. Cook with his eyes towards the end zone. Touchdown, Dons. Moments for Helix, but Helix has slowly chipped away on their drive. They have yet to close the door, though. And a promising drive ending in an interception. This one is a one-on-one that is caught. Is he in bounds? Jeremy Robinson. No, he is not. The team's...
Look at his right foot. Oh, it just missed. It just missed the ground.
Great defense, though, by Logan Jones. If you're a wrestling coach at Cathedral and you need another dude, I mean, look at this. Look at this. The ability to wrap him up and have the wherewithal. Just get him down out of bounds right there.
Oh, man. If he's 1 inch taller, that's a catch.
The lone receiver is Jeremy Robinson on the left. L&L, oh, the blitz is coming, and he gets absolutely swallowed up. Flying in and taking him down is Stavros Hetrick from the 47. Brady Palmer. Pressure coming. Palmer throwing. Received near side, out of bounds near the 30, brought in.
And you see why Cal likes Brady Palmer.
29-yard line, and it's a flip up to Fa'alave. This time he has space. Turning on the Jets for a moment. Skipping upfield. Evading pressure. Honor Fa'alave is in. Touchdown, Dons.
Hey, one more look at it, and let's count the amount of tackles it should have been. I think it was 3 out on the first one. That one, again, that's a good move. This should have been pushed out of bounds, but he's too strong. And then that one is just, again, the agility, the speed, the quickness. And, man, I can see why everybody wants him on their team. There, he's off to the left side.
Play action. Palmer to throw. He has receivers deep. Looking in that direction. It is caught inside the 10. Reeled in by Isaac Cook.
And again, I mean, the problem with Brady Palmer is the games have been like this a lot, so he hasn't got to show off the arm. But, I mean, this is a beautiful throw.
Aaron, 4 verts on this.
Oh, yeah. They just went ahead and slung it. And, yeah, I mean, if you're a secondary, you're getting bored by watching run, and you're susceptible to that happening.
Flores into the end zone. And I promise you it was a touchdown, even though we were coming out of replay. Here's what it looked like from our perspective. Just an easy bounce out to the right. Great block on the inside. Honor Fa'alave in the slot on the right. Palmer in the shotgun. Flores to his right. Palmer rolling out that way. Palmer, eyes to the end zone. Fa'alave, why is he so open? That is not the guy you leave wide open. And even though it's not Honor Fa'alave and it's actually Isaac Cook, it does not matter. He continues to torch the defense for a touchdown. He caught his first varsity touchdown against St. Augustine playing tight end. And his coaches say that he is truly an inspiration as Noah Alfie intercepts it from Caden Thompson and gives it back to the Dons here up 35-0. It's going to be quite a bout between the Pirates and the Matadors. Play action. Far side. Caught. Alone. Honor. Touchdown. Dons. Second touchdown of the evening for Honor Fa'alave. He has an entourage of friends out there in the end zone to greet him. And the onslaught continues, 41-0 pending the PAT. So Cathedral Catholic starts 2025 on a perfect 4-0 streak. Impressive wins, including 2 against San Diego teams now. Mater Dei Catholic to open up the season. And here tonight against Helix, 49-0. That comes on the heels of a 28-0 victory a year ago. Helix drops to 1-4 on the season. And they have their sights set on league play beginning next week. But Cathedral Catholic continues to set the gold standard here in San Diego and dominate as the game has gone official. 49-0 Cathedral Catholic.
All right, we got a very special guest, Ted. Why don't you explain to everybody who you are, what you're doing here, because you're normally behind the camera. This is one of your first times in front.
Yeah, super. Thanks, Tommy. Yeah, Ted Bendrick here. And, we've had TVX Video here for the last 20 years. We were out doing a bunch of games. And, we love bringing broadcast productions to the families, to the crowds, to the players themselves. And this year we're really trying to highlight that community spirit. We've been doing this on Cox Cable for the last 2 years. They came to us. We worked with CIF. CIF said, we got to keep this going. We got to keep this going. And the reason you're listening to me right now is because you haven't paid for a commercial yet. We need that help. So.
That's right. The commercial could go here. It could be your companies. And again, this is something that is great for the kids, great for CIF, and it's great that you're doing this also. How positive have been the reviews from CIF, from the county, just in general?
They've been very good. I mean, our first game, we had over 10,000 viewers watching it, right? Last week's game was just Rancho Bernardo, Torrey Pines, great game to watch. And basically, when Cox came to me and said, we're not going to be able to put these games on this year, I talked with Todd Kaysen down at CIF, and he goes, we got to do these. We love these games. This is great, acknowledgement to our sports programs. It's extremely good to the teams and the schools, and we got to find a way to do this. And so we're doing it. We're just coming out and doing it. We're trying to raise sponsorship to keep this going. The goal really, Tommy, is that we'd love to grow this through football, into basketball, into spring seasons. We'd love to bring in more sports outside of that, some of the local colleges and things like that. But we want to make it free for everybody to be able to look at it and watch and come back.
So support who supports you is what I always say. So if you look down below, there's some contact information. Go ahead and reach out. If you'd like to purchase an ad, any sort of contribution you'd like to make, we would love to talk to you. So come find us.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Oceanside. We've had a lot of great bands on our broadcast, and this is another fantastic one. Let's hear what they sound like.
All you gift card fans, we got one more Ocean Cup coming up for a $50 gift card to the Han Grill. Get your fingers and your phone ready. It's coming up. We have one more half of football action. Go get your food at the Tony Adami Gallery. Fresh food, fresh hot drinks. Anything extra you buy, just bring it to the booth. Mango strawberry liquids, people around here tonight.
San Diego section high school football game of the week, brought to you by TVX Sports Video. TVX has been covering sports here in San Diego and around the Southwest for nearly 20 years. They're committed to bringing you the best in live, local, and emerging sports. Visit tvxvideo.com or check them out on YouTube, Instagram, and X, all of it at TVX Sports Video. Jack Cronin, Tommy Morris, Jonathan Rifkin back with you in Oceanside tonight with the hometown Pirates lead at 19-6 over number 8 Mount Miguel. The Matadors coming in 4-1 on the year, showing flashes of that great offense out there, but Oceanside's controlling things up front with a great offensive line, running the football well. Nekalatuli and Exis to LA both running the football very well behind guys like Easy Tokyo and company, that up front offensive line.
Yeah, they look like a well-oiled machine. I mean, everything looks like it's working the way it's supposed to, almost like a band, right? Well, I for life of me, I still will never figure out how the bands know where to walk, all that kind of stuff. That's way harder work than a football play or a football game. But we'll take a look at the scoring plays here. But again, just punishing Mount Miguel on the ground. And I'm sure in the Mount Miguel locker room for the last 20 minutes they've been hearing about, we got to stop the run. We got to toughen up front because they're killing us up front. But it is one of those things, too. You can yell at them all you want, but you can't really teach size like that. Just Oceanside's been taking advantage of the fact that they're just bigger up front. And some of these guys who are finally getting their first game in, not only is it their first game, so there's not a lot of film on what they're planning to do and all kinds of stuff, but these guys are really fresh because for 5 weeks, they've just been waiting to get their turn, and finally it's happening tonight. And then for Mount Miguel, I mean, this is a guy who Oceanside said they wanted to look out for in A.J. Logan, and then we'll see it again from the reverse angle. Good job throwing it up top, and good job by A.J. to go high point it. And then more running for for Oceanside, excuse me. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that in the second half because now they have the lead. You want to limit possessions. You want to ice the game away. Fortunately for Mount Miguel, they're going to get the ball back after halftime here and after this fantastic halftime show that we just watched. And they'll get a chance to make this a one-possession game. And Jack, I was sort of saying, just put Loper in. I know you've got Jackson, who's in his first game now. You want to get him some reps, get him comfortable. But then Jackson proved me wrong in the last drive. Looked really good. And also in a situation where he's empty and everyone knows they got to throw because it's hurry up. There's 2-minute drill. And he looked very, very comfortable as well. So now I do think Mount Miguel has two good options coming out of halftime. I do think we'll see Loper for the second half for the majority of it at least. And then got to figure out who's going to play running back. It looked like Zane Rodier was going to be the guy. And he's a big body as well. He's listed at 5'10", 200 pounds. I know that Mount Miguel would prefer to keep him on defense so he doesn't have to go both ways, playing linebacker and running back. But I would be very surprised if we see Jaden Hunter in the second half. And, I'm trying to Hawkeye to see down there and see if number 4's got his helmet on. I can't see him down there. But, again, I'd be very, very surprised to see him in the second half. But Mount Miguel might want to try going empty again because it looked pretty effective there in the last drive.
S.J. Pumele, Nekalatuli, Anthony Bacaniero, all with touchdowns for Oceanside. Ran the ball well.
And according to Jonathan Rifkin down there in the field, Hunter does have his helmet on and he ran out with the field. So maybe I'm wrong. It just generally with the head injuries, it's hard to get cleared. But, again, if he went through the concussion protocol, did all the things he was supposed to do, then he can't play. So according to our great sideline reporter, Jonathan Rifkin, our investigative reporter down there, if you will, 4 is looking like he's ready to go for the second half.
Well, Oceanside's going to get the ball first, so we'll see what happens when Mount Miguel has the football. Well, for now, S.J. Pumele, Anthony Bacaniero, and this offense for Oceanside will start the second half with a 19-6 lead. They ran the ball very well. When they had to throw, Kaimani Nua was there for Bacaniero to find in the passing game.
And I'll say this, we're looking at Bacaniero right now, but that does not look like a sophomore, A.
Yeah.
And B, that does not look like a quarterback. That looks like a defensive end, maybe a tight end. That is again, I don't remember that back 20 years ago when I was in high school, sophomores being that big, but Oceanside's got a good one, and when he's a senior, he's going to be something scary.
6'3", 185 pounds, just a sophomore.
I think he's probably put on a little more weight from whatever that measurement was in the season. He looks closer to 200 now.
Clint Edelman will kick things away for the Matadors. And Pumele, who had that first touchdown on the end-around carry, is back deep to receive. He will take this one at the 4. And Pumele got across the 20 and the 25. Around the corner and taken out of bounds shy of the 35-yard line. They'll mark him out at the 32.
That's where Oceanside will take over.
Yeah, and they're number 9, Gianni Perfili. We mentioned him on defense. He's a contained guy on that outside. Does a good job not letting SJ get outside, because if he gets up the sideline, it's a problem, and forcing him out of bounds.
So here's Bacaniero in the offense. Nekalatuli. The touchdown run in the first half and carried the bulk of the load on the ground. He is in the backfield as Bacaniero comes under center. They pitch it. Latuli. And he'll take it out to the 38-yard line. A gain of 6 on first down.
And Latuli's got that Ashton Ginty stance where he kind of stands straight up when he's in the backfield, and that's kind of what he reminds. I mean, not to, obviously Ginty, great running back, so it's kind of obvious. But yeah, there's the power running, and right now I think in the NFL, Ginty's got, I think, 140 yards and 141 after contact. So it's while he's been getting contacted, not in the backfield like Ginty has been, he's been running through a lot of the first tacklers, normally taking 2 or 3 guys to tackle him in the first half.
2nd down and 4. From the 38-yard line, 11 minutes to play. We're just underway in the third quarter. And Oceanside leading it 19-6. Get on the ground. Latuli another carry. 3rd down on the way.
And Dominic Lopez doing a good job flying down from his linebacker position to make that stop. And 3rd down, again, this is probably not a part of the field where you'd want to go for it on 4, so huge play here. Great job, Mount Miguel. Finally, figuring, again, I think there's been 3 times where the run has not worked. So pretty good ratio if you're Oceanside.
Cameron Salcedo goes out wide to the left. Pomele and Nua are wide right for Oceanside. Bacaniero to throw on 3rd down. Waiting, going for Nua down the field, incomplete. It was a play where he called for the ball short and then took off long, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, that's one way to run, kind of like a screen and go, look like the ball's coming out fast, and then take off. And then you'll see SJ pretending to block, right? He can't technically do it because the ball's going to come downfield, but they had him there. Looked like you had a chance there. Good play call. I mean, Oceanside play calling has been fantastic so far today.
And Newell will have to come on to punt for Oceanside. It's 4th down and 4 from their own 38-yard line. So we're going to see A.J. Logan back there as the touchdown grab. He's the only touchdown so far of the night for the Matadors. And Logan, who's headed to Boise State next year, back deep to receive the punt from Nua. Good spiraling punt. What a kick. He will take a Matador bounce, but only for a yard or so to the 22-yard line. So Kamani Nua is going to Army next year. Doing a lot in this one in all phases.
I'll tell you what, if Army needs an emergency punter or kicker, I think they got the guy. Especially off the left foot. Left-footed punters, for whatever reason, are harder to catch. The ball kind of spirals a little bit differently, and it throws off the return. This kid can do everything, and now you see him in a safety position, too. He really doesn't come off the field because he's just too good of an athlete to justify taking him off the field.
A senior. And the best play of the game was the one where there was an ineligible receiver downfield.
I know.
The flea flicker that Nua caught in traffic. Here's Loper with the handoff, and it is going to be back in the game. Jaden Hunter with the carry for Mount Miguel. Took the big hit on special teams early or late in the second quarter. Was back out here early in the third. Again, he takes this carry forward, and it should be enough for the first down. So we check in with Jonathan Rifkin here as Hunter has had 2 carries, and he gets the first down. This play right here, Hunter hit once, twice, breaking a tackle, and Jonathan Rifkin looks pretty good out there. Start the second half.
Yeah, I saw him walking out of the halftime locker room, full pads, a ton of energy. He even gave me a thumbs up. He said, yeah, I took a big hit, but I'm good to go. And here he is with a couple of big carries as they continue to push the chains down the field.
So indeed, they will move things again for Mount Miguel.
And there's Paris Vernon, another good target. And there's, again, Loper, nice little pitch and catch. And if they're going to give Mount Miguel that, we talked about it in the first drive, that they're going to take it.
Into the backfield, well defended. Levi Vasily, the junior middle linebacker, on the stop. It's still going to be a 2-yard gain, but it could have been much more than that as he met him in the backfield.
Yeah, and that's Jeremiah Holiday. So they've done basically everything I've said that they shouldn't do, and it's worked. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But they're going 2 backs for the first time all night, and it's been pretty effective for the Matadors.
Holiday's in the backfield with Hunter and Loper.
And Hunter looks good. I mean, not really showing any effects from that hit he took on the return at the end of that first half.
2nd down and 8. The ball on the 46-yard line. 8:39 to play in the third. Play action over the middle. It's complete, and it should be enough for the first down as Paris Vernon gets the catch for the Matadors.
Yeah, a little bit extra afterwards. I mean, both these teams have been a little chippy. And Paris Vernon, again, you talk a lot about A.J. Logan, Brandon Arrington. He's not – I wouldn't even call him the third guy. I call them all 1A, 1B, and 1C because at any given night, one of them can give you fits. And right now it's Paris Vernon's turn.
And this is Holiday up the middle, and he's got the first down. Jeremiah Holiday with a burst up the middle.
And he's making a case that he should get more carries. Jeremiah Holiday, only a sophomore, but, man, I mean, he's lead blocking when he doesn't get the ball, and he's been effective when he's been carrying the ball. And I think Mount Miguel's found something here with this 2-back approach. It's forcing Oceanside to kind of load the box a little bit extra because you want the numbers to match up right. So they're able to take advantage on the perimeter with their outstanding receivers, and they've been able to block the run a lot better. And again, with Hunter back in the game, you got to respect the run a lot. And I don't know, Holiday, we didn't see him in the whole first half, and I'm sure he's very excited to be here in the second half because I'm sure he was begging for this formation to be called, this personnel package, to be called in. And he's fresh, and you can tell.
Oceanside calls their first timeout with 8 minutes remaining in the third. So they've used their first timeout. And the Matadors will have it 1st and 10 from the Pirate 30-yard line.
And they're going to stick with this personnel package. This is 20 personnel, no tight ends, 2 running backs. Again, it works. And if you count the box, Oceanside doesn't have to put 7 in there, so now it opens up the outside. You have Arrington's on it right now, but when he is in, you have 3 Division I wide receivers. Granted, Arrington's going to play defense, right? But 3 Division I athletes playing receiver. It's a matchup nightmare for Oceanside.
A.J. Logan's in the slot. This is a handoff to Hunter, and he'll be brought down for a loss. Wyatt Gully gets into the backfield for the loss of 1.
Yeah, Oceanside, again, we saw Mount Miguel kind of figure out the running game for Oceanside, and now it looks like Oceanside figure out this 2-back set for Mount Miguel. And that's how they prefer to do it. They prefer to have Holiday be the lead blocker and give Hunter the ball. But good job there by Oceanside's front 7 to make a stop.
A loss of 2 actually on the play. 2nd down and 12. Holiday and Hunter are in the backfield with Loper. Wyatt Gully, his first game with Oceanside, making the stop in the backfield. Legacy name. 2nd down and long. Hand off to Hunter up the middle with a burst. He dives forward across the 25-yard line to the 24. It's not going to be enough for the first down, but it brings up 3rd and short.
So earlier we saw Oceanside put 7 in the box with this 2-back set, and then I think they were expecting run. They only had 6 in the box for that one, and it looked like Mount Miguel saw that change of play and then went to that run play. So very smart observing by Coach B over there on the Mount Miguel sideline to see they had the numbers in the box and take advantage of it. Not be too worried about the fact that it was 2nd and long.
3rd down and 4 from the 24-yard line. And up again to Hunter. He's met in the backfield and dropped. No gain on the play. Into the backfield for the stop. Matthias Matamolo.
Yeah, Mount Miguel, or Oceanside, gave Mount Miguel a similar look to the play before. They tried the same thing. Didn't work. Again, no panic. You're not going to go for it on 4th down. Run the ball. If you get a couple yards, great. If not the end of the world.
So now it's 4th down and 4. Loper looks to the sideline. 3 wide. On 4th down and 4. Hunter and Holiday both in the backfield. Play action. Quick toss to Vernon. He gets it. He's gone for the touchdown. Paris Vernon from 24 yards out puts Mount Miguel back on the board.
This is the Paris Vernon drive. Officially, it looked like a little RPO situation there. You have the slant on the backside of the RPO with linebackers bite down. You throw the slant. And, yeah, on 4th down, incredible. And then Vernon breaking the tackle, too. Look at the read by Loper. He's reading 21 right there. So you see 21 fly up. You're going to throw the slant. And still a contested catch there for Paris Vernon. And, man, he was probably just sick of us not calling his name yet. I think that might have been what it is.
Well, he's made his presence felt here in the third quarter. It's another low snap, and the try will not be good. So 19-12. It's a 7-point game with more PAT trouble for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, that's 7. I mean, the snap was fine. I don't know. That might have been just a little bit of panic there from Gregory Jefferson because I don't know. The snap looked good to me. You just got to put it down and let Edelman kick it. Because, I mean, again, Edelman's had an eventful night for a kid who's has no stats on the board because he hasn't really gotten to show what he can do. But, yeah.
19-12 with 6:06 remaining in the third.
And here's the other thing, too. With now that's the second time that's happened on a PAT. You're down by 7. In theory, if you score, you would kick the PAT. At this point, on the road, it's loud. You're having a scratch and call to climb back. If you're Mount Miguel and you score again, I would almost say 100% you got to go for 2 and try to take the lead and try and steal one here on the road. And again, you're not normally an extra point you think is like a sure thing. At this point, it's probably closer to 50-50. The expected return right there is not very good.
Kick it short. It will bounce and then be corralled at around the 15-yard line. So Oceanside, who's had great field position all night long here, will have the return from Adrian Luna, the senior, back to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, and that's a tip of the cap there to S.J. Pomeli. The last return was good. We got flag down in the field here.
Yeah, flag.
But yeah, I think Mount Miguel's saying that that's the last one we're going to let SJ return. We're going to give him the treatment that A.J. Logan and Brandon Arrington got. And that is best case scenario for the kicking team. You want it to hit the ground somewhere because that's when crazy things happen. And if you're the return team, then you got to jump on it really fast and try to make something out of nothing.
And the penalty goes against Oceanside, so this is even further back for the Pirates. On the return, the football will be placed inside the 10-yard line at about the 8.
And this is the first time we've seen not only bad field position, but really bad field position. This is what Mount Miguel was dealing with in the first half. And again, this is scary if you're Oceanside because if you can't move the ball, at this point, the goal is just to get down the field a little bit so that you're not giving Mount Miguel a short field. Then you go on from there. But you got to get 40 yards here to make this next offensive possession for Mount Miguel a little more difficult.
S.J. Pomeli on the end around cuts it back, and he's still going. Boy, that's a tough run. Well done to take it out to the 17-yard line. A gain of 9 on first down for S.J. Pomeli.
And you see why they didn't want to kick to him because he was in there. That was making something out of nothing. This is improv. He's supposed to bring this around the outside and just cuts it back on about 5 different defenders and then runs through a tackle here to get those extra yards. And he's limping around a little bit. Let's see. He's still down there on the field, but great first play for this drive where, again, it's crucial to get out of the back of the end zone.
Malachi Jackson, who is headed to Weber State next year, the leading tackler for Mount Miguel, with the stop. It's second down and a short 2. Hand off. Fatuli with the first down run to the 24-yard line. Gain of 7 in the first down.
And obviously, I was just saying, right, you just want to get the ball out of bad field position. Obviously, if you score, it's better, right? But on top of that, if you can run the ball and be assertive all the way down the field and waste some clock and do all these things, and that's what Oceanside wants to do. In an ideal world for Oceanside, they score, and it'll be halfway through the fourth quarter when Mount Miguel gets the ball. And then at that point, it's tough sledding because you're down 2 possessions and not a lot of time left. And Oceanside definitely, as it showed in the first half, has the capability to do that.
19-12, 7-point lead. Pitch back. Thule across the 30, and he's got the first down. Right to the 37-yard line. It's another 13 yards and a first down.
Yeah, so they go to the toss right, and that bunch formation sort of giveaway. So they break the huddle fast and call the play fast. You see it right there because they don't want Mount Miguel to be able to adjust. Again, everything that Oceanside has called has looked great, and even the little nuances like that. On this play, we need to get the line fast. We need to call fast. We can't let them adjust. It's been really impressive watching the way Oceanside has worked so far.
First and 10 from the 37. 4 minutes left to play in the third quarter and a 1-touchdown advantage for Oceanside. Macanero hands off. This is the end around carry, but not much happening that time for Oceanside. A carry for Noel Hernandez, the senior. And it brings up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, I believe it was Brandon Arrington on tackle, known for his speed, but takes on a block here, does a good job of containing there. If the edge is caught, that's a problem. And I mean, Texas A&M wants it for a reason, right?
6'3", 190, Arrington listed before the season. 3:59 to go in the third.
And I don't know what his wingspan is, but I assume it's longer than 6'3". If you look at him at the bottom of the screen, he's got those long arms. He's got like the prototypical body type for a corner.
On the handoff, and again, no gain. That's 2 plays in a row where the stop has been made for no gain. Driston Williams, the senior, again on the stop. He's had a great night.
Future lumberjack right there. NAU's got to be smiling. They're probably watching this, checking in on their guy. And that's 2 times he's made a tackle for loss here. And as much as Mount Miguel struggled to stop this run, individual efforts like this have been helpful.
3rd down and 12. Back-to-back plays where nothing has happened. That Mount Miguel defense has stepped up. 4 wide. Pumele is in the slot to the left. It's Nua who's wide right on 3rd and 12. On the 35-yard line, Macanero chased away, trying to run free, and down he goes. Ball came loose at the end, but he was already down way back at the 22-yard line. It's a loss of 13 on the play.
And Dominic Lopez, the kid we talked to early in the week, also making his presence known with a sack there. And, they're bringing a little extra pressure. This is a longer developing passing concept and just not enough time to get through the progression. And I don't want to short Zane Rodier either because he got there first, it looked like. So Rodier and Lopez combined on the sack there.
And they forced the punt, so Newell will have to come on and kick. He had a very good kick last time around. 2:34 and counting left in the third. With Oceanside up, but having to punt to Mount Miguel.
I don't think they're going to do it here, but the other advantage of having Nua be the punter is a fake is always possible because you have your best athlete with the ball in his hands.
A.J. Logan is back deep to receive for Mount Miguel. Future Boise State Bronco. And we're going to have a delay here. It's a delay of game on the Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, again, we saw that on the Mount Miguel side, too. And this is not what you wanted, right? Now you ended up almost where you started this drive. And you're going to give Mount Miguel a short field, and that explosive offense has finally started to get things going. Eric telling Nua, you're not going anywhere.
Nua pulled it down, and now finally will kick. Got it away. Logan takes it just at the 40. Logan tracked down and stopped. Looks like it was, the tackle there, Dominic Patino. But there's a penalty flag. He carried that ball for quite a while before punting it. All the way back at the 30-yard line, there's a penalty flag down.
If he crossed the line of scrimmage, you can't kick it anymore, and that might have been what happened. That did not look like it was supposed to be. No, we got a hold.
It's a hold. And it's a hold against the Matadors.
So we've seen some athletic plays from Nua, and
yes,
that topped it. I think as good as the catch was on the one that didn't count, I don't think he even needed really to do this, but I guess there's a little bit of panic there with the pressure on the left side. And I don't know if he has a rugby background at all, but wow, that was impressive. I mean, you see the holding action there on the left side of the screen. The gunner got tackled. But, man, I mean, I guess of the plays that counted, that was the most impressive
one. He's got
one.
some great ones. He's got a lot of candidates. But, yeah, he pulls it down to avoid the potential block, gets it away in a rugby-style kick. Tommy's right. You saw the hold because the gunner was taken down on the left side of your screen on the replay. So that penalty negates a decent return from Logan. 1st down and 10 for the Matadors. They're trailing by a touchdown. 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line. 1:58 to play in the third quarter tonight. 19-12 Oceanside, Mount Miguel football. Loper heading off to Hunter. He's in the backfield, still on his feet. And he's still going. Finally brought down for a loss of 1 back to the 37-yard line. It took the entire Oceanside defense to bring him down.
And you see why a lot of schools want Hunter on their team too. Because this, again, it took about 7 guys in. And it's not like they're all just lowering the shoulder like you're going to see here, but a lot of them are trying to wrap up like you're supposed to, and they just couldn't. Keeping the legs churning. Great job there by Jaden Hunter. Again, shaking off what looked like it could have been an injury in that first half to just continue to run hard here in the second.
Finally, it was Easy Tokyo, the Washington commit, who brought him down.
That would be the guy, if anybody.
Isaiah Tokyo. Loper trying to get rid of the football. He had pressure on him and got rid of it, trying to find Tamarian Williams, the freshman. But the pressure forced him to get rid of the ball early.
Yeah, good job there by the front four, causing what was that incomplete pass. If there's no pressure in his face right there, that is an easy pitch and catch. And that was Levi Vasily blitzing on the outside. Smart move there by Coach V on the Mount Miguel side. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
3 wide, 2 in the backfield. Loper squaring up and throwing deep to the far side. That one is caught. Deep down the field to A.J. Logan.
I love it. I love the play call. You get the go-go formation, which is 2 back to the right, and they roll that way. So it's almost like a super rollout because you have 2 lead blockers. Normally you only have 1 on there on the outside. So you got 2 guys to seal the edge, and then gives Loper plenty of time to find A.J. Logan, who is as dynamic as anyone else you're going to find in the county.
Both backs had to take on Easy Tokyo, and it took 2 of them to create the separation and allow the deep pass. Loper keeps it himself this time, running to the near side and finally taken down to the 18-yard line. It's a gain of 4.
Might come back, though. I think it might be a hold there on the read option. We'll see what it is.
And indeed, you're right, so it's a holding call against the Matadors.
And Paris Vernon was slapping his chest saying, my bad, so I'm assuming that was him, but good job there by Loper. You're going to look at the left hand, that's what he's reading to see if he crashes, so he keeps the ball. That's a great job, and then there's the holding right there, and that's right kind of where the ball ran to. You're going to call for that every time. When you're a receiver and you're out there on the perimeter, it's hard to hide those because it's just way too obvious, and, good job there by Oceanside on the perimeter causing the hold.
So Paris Vernon called for the hold. It's 1st down and 20. Loper pumps once, gets rid of the football as he's hit deep downfield and incomplete. Trying to find Logan again for the big catch on the drive. 12 seconds left in the quarter.
Well, they've thrown that hitch route a million times, so why not go for the hitch and go? I like the play call here. Just couldn't really execute it. And it was maybe a little bit better throw that could have been there, but Oceanside didn't really bite. So good safe throw there by Loper. And you'll see at the top of your screen, hitch and go. But also the pressure kind of caused that ball to be flipped up at a trajectory that I'm sure Loper didn't want it at.
And the pump fake is good because it gets your corner off of the coverage, but the problem is it allows the pass rush to get even closer to the quarterback. Right. Hand off to Hunter on 2nd down and 20, and there's no gain.
Yeah, the 20 personnel has been working. I think it might be time to maybe switch it up because I think Oceanside's kind of gotten the hang of it, and we're going to get to the end of the quarter, so they'll have time to discuss it. But we got a good one here, Jack.
1 touchdown game heading to our final 12 minutes. Coming right back to Oceanside as the Pirates lead at 19-12. CIF San Diego section game of the week brought to you by TVX Sports Video.
September 27th, Rugby Sevens is back. From Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California, it's stop 1 of the West Coast Sevens. Watch all the action live on YouTube at TVX Sports Video.
All right, we got West Coast Sevens Rugby coming up tomorrow.
I got a guy who could probably play in that.
Okay.
Actually, I think Nua has done his tryout on that punt. I
okay.
think that might... I don't know much about rugby, but I feel like that was pretty good.
That's a great call. Rugby-style kick. Plus, he's so athletic,
right?
That he can run, he can tackle. That's a great call. West Coast Sevens tomorrow. Dignity Health Sports Park. It's the soccer stadium up in Carson. They also played Palo Alto and right here in Oceanside. Later on the schedule, TVX Sports Radio bringing you the coverage. Sevens, the fast-paced version of rugby. And that's awesome here in Southern California. Right out of the timeout, pass complete. Over the middle, it's Logan. Looking for the end zone for the second time. He takes it down to the 5.
Oh, nice little slant there. I don't think we're going to see it on the screen. Brandon Arrington was throwing up the touchdown sign the second the ball was caught. Over there playing wide receiver on the top side of the screen. But, yeah, again, Boise State is getting a good one. And he's just as good after the catch as he is before. You're going to see Paris Brandon clear out the window there for the slant on his seam route. And then good tackle right there by Flats to make sure that Logan does not score. But Mount Miguel knocking on the door, and I mean, we got a nail biter here, Jack.
One touchdown game with 11:25 to play. Mount Miguel knocking on the door, trying to get close to potentially tie or even take the lead. Holiday with the carry, but he's immediately stopped. Noah Bush, the senior defensive end, with the tackle. It's going to be second down and goal from the 6-yard line.
And those carries on the goal line, if you're running back, are sort of like the currency that you get. You earn that, right? And Holiday has earned the right to get a goal line. I know we're not right on the goal line. A goal line type carry through how he's played this second half.
Second down and goal from the 6. Loper to throw this time, rolling out to his throwing side, the left side, he fires away. Oh, and it was right into Gully, incomplete. Wyatt Gully was right there to bat it down.
And Gully doing a good job expanding what is his zone responsibilities wide with the roll. You're going to see him roll, expanding left, or to offense's left, and finds himself right in the window where Loper is trying to throw it. Kind of a dangerous throw here in the red zone. You kind of would prefer him to just throw that thing into the street, because a lot of traffic coming across, and rolling left and trying to hit a slant route that's coming across your face is always a little bit tricky, and things like that can happen.
Now Loper works shotgun on third and goal from the 6. Sends Hunter out in motion. Waiting, fire for the end zone. It's nearly picked off again, incomplete. Logan was the target, but the closest player there was Noah Hernandez, and Hernandez nearly picked it off.
Again, that's one. It's not there, and in the red zone, it's 3rd and 6. You're going to get a 4th down. You're going to get another chance. A 4th down, I'm okay with this throw, but man, I mean, it looked like they were manned up across the board. Ideally, if it's not there, you throw it out to the running back in the flats, but that looked like that wasn't there either. It turned into one of those things like read 1, read 2, read 3, take off. But, I mean, Loper can run if he needs to. That's not his primary objective. He doesn't like to. He likes to be in the pocket. But, again, another dangerous throw here in the red zone. And when you know you're going to go for the 4th, just take an incompletion, try to run it on 3rd down. You don't need to score there.
Noel Hernandez in on the coverage, forcing 4th down. So timeout for the 4th down. 4th and goal from the 6. With 10:27 to play in a 1-touchdown contest.
Yeah, and if I'm Oceanside, I'm trying to figure out where number 5 is, because I know he's not the tallest dude in the world, but he's matched up against someone roughly his size. So any sort of fade ball, he probably has a good chance at it. And then, again, it looks like Oceanside was sort of manned up on the last one. I assume they're going to do that again. Get him on a whip route or something where he can create and make some space for himself.
They roll out to the left, firing for the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, A.J. Logan again. It's his 2nd TD of the day. And this one is close.
And I had a feeling that was coming, because you had sort of a slant corner. It's not necessarily whip route, but same idea. Make the move inside, break down, and then go outside. There was so much room on that side. You'll see him at the top of your screen. Slant, slam on the brakes, get to the corner. Good ball there from Loper, and, I mean, as easy as it can get in that situation there. And they're going to, again, nothing I say happens, because they're going to take the extra point opportunity here.
So here we go. Kicking's been an adventure tonight. A chance for Clint Edelman to tie the game. It is down. The kick is on the way, and it's good. So we're tied at 19.
I am, I think, 5 for 5 on penalty calls. I am 0 for 8 on figuring out what Mount Miguel is going to do during this game. But, yeah, we got a tie game here with 10 minutes, and it has been that battle we talked about. It's been the quick stretch from Mount Miguel versus the slow, methodical offense from Oceanside. And in these situations, I mean, honestly, it does somewhat favor the team that can score fast because you never know how much time you're going to have on the clock in a tie game like this to have to go down and score. But for Oceanside, they got plenty of time here for this drive. And kind of like what we said the first time they had the ball, ideally you waste as much of this clock as possible and score, which is something they can definitely do with their ground game.
So 10:21 to go, 19 points apiece. After all of the missed extra points and 2-point attempts and all that, we wind up tied. Even though both sides have had issues in the kicking game and gone for two and tried and all that, we wind up tied here with 10 minutes to play. Taking to the 25. Out across the 40-yard line. Defenesato with the return for Oceanside. And he'll get good field position for the Pirates.
And again, they don't want to kick it to S.J. Pomeli, so let one of the up guys have a chance. And Sato with a great return. And I thought, when he made that move, I thought there was a chance. But again, we mentioned the contain guy on kickoff, and there's another good job there by Porfilio, who did the same thing when I thought S.J. had a chance to break one. Doing a good job forcing that inside and allowing for his teammates to make the tackle.
So Anthony Bacaniero now in a tie game, 19 points apiece. So work shotgun. Nekalatule in the backfield. Josh Jones, the tight end, going in motion. And off Latule. And he'll get 1 yard to the 41-yard line. 2nd and 9 for Latule and the Pirates.
I think we might see here Oceanside take a shot. Every time we've gone play action, it's sort of thrown Mount Miguel off, and wherever Nua is, I would give him a chance. I'd probably put him on the opposite side of Arrington. He's going to be on the same side of Arrington here, but again, I would look out for a play action something. I'd take a shot here. There's no safety help over the top.
Nua's at the top of the screen to the right side of the formation. Salcido's at the bottom. This is the end around play 2 from LA. And he's still going. That's just from LA. Somersaulting forward down to the 25-yard line.
And exactly what I said, Jack. Just run the ball. S.J. Pomeli has been effective on that jet sweep and has been as dangerous as a weapon as anyone else in the field so far today, only a sophomore. So if you are a coach in San Diego, you should not like this because you got 2 more years of this coming after this year. Running through a couple tackles, I thought he had a real chance to break it there and just could not find his footing right around the 25. Oceanside in business.
The 25-yard line, it'll be 1st and 10. There were a couple players who were down injured for Mount Miguel. Gregory Jefferson jumped up and ran off, but Ryan George is the one being helped off right now at the 45-yard line for the Matadors. So that was the delay, was for the injuries. 9:28 to play in the game. Oceanside threatening on the S.J. Pomeli. Huge run on the end around.
And I know that walk right there, Jack. That's the I have just cramped, and now I got to get off the field because he's trying to not move that calf. So hopefully it is just a cramp, and we'll see him in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, everyone should be cramped right now because this game has been a lot, and it's taken a long time too. I mean, we've been out here for a while, and every single play has been 100% max go because this game has been so tight all the way through.
Salcido wide left, Pomeli and Nua wide right. Flag comes in, and it's going to be a false start against Oceanside.
It looked like it was on the outside. It looked like it was Salcedo jumping a little bit early there. I will say this, the first half, ton of flags. Second half, I feel like that was maybe the first or second one. No, second one. We had the holding on the punt return, I think. I can't remember if there was another one. And now Oceanside would like to change the play, I think, now that it is 1st and 15 instead of 1st and 10. I would still keep it on the ground here, which means obviously, Jack, they're going to throw it to the end zone.
Nekalatule is the one in the backfield if they do keep it on the ground. 3 wide, plus Joe's the tight end. It's play action. Bacaniero waiting, looking for Latule, and he is incomplete. Trying to wait for it, and he came back to it, and the ball skipped on the ground for Latule.
And that looked very similar to what we saw in the first half. A guy running wide open after the play action and through the exact same gap, actually. It's kind of a new thing to do, and just, oh, man, You wish you have that one back if you're Oceanside. But, yeah, kind of the new thing to do is you do the play action, have the running back, instead of run around line of scrimmage, go through either the C gap or, if you got a tight end out there, what would be like a D gap type situation. And, oh, man, that's just that's tough.
So it's incomplete. It's 2nd and 15 from the 30-yard line, 8:45 to play, tie game. 19 points apiece. Nua goes all the way wide right. Pumele in close. He gets the handoff. Pumele. And he makes it back to the 26-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 11 for the Pirates. In this tie game, 19 points apiece.
Yeah, and again, we think we saw this earlier, too. This is unbalanced. That tight end at the top 19 is not eligible, and they run the other way, trying to get Mount Miguel to miss a line, and kind of effective there for Oceanside.
Yeah, and in previous plays, they have run to that side because you've got Jones and Tokyo who are out blocking. Instead, they countered back the other way.
And yeah, again, that's you run all that, and then you save that one in your back pocket for later, and that was the back pocket save right there for Oceanside. And it wouldn't surprise me if they have a couple points saved for situations like this. And I'm about to say it's a passing down, so they're definitely going to run it down.
All right, so here we go. 3rd down and 12. Got a couple of tries at this one if you're Oceanside. Hacaniero setting up the screen, gets rid of the football. It's incomplete. He was under pressure and could not complete it. Throws it away incomplete, trying to set up the screen to Latule.
Smart there by the Mount Miguel. They might call him for unintentional grounding here. Hold on.
So, yeah, they pull up the flag. No flag.
No flag.
It was going to be grounding, but there was a receiver, Latule, in the area. No penalty.
So in high school, you can't get intentional grounding if you throw a past the line of scrimmage. You could literally take the snap and chuck it at the back of the end zone. It's fine. But if you do not throw a past the line of scrimmage, that's when it becomes an issue. I think the referee did not see that the running back was standing right there. And, yeah, I mean, again, I think if you're Oceanside, you can't this is out of what would be comfortable field goal range for a high school kid. If you're used to watching college or pro, this is too long for a high school kid. It's 4th and 12. Mount Miguel has gone no safety throughout this whole entire time because they are basically saying our corners are better than your receivers and prove it. But this is going to be one of the times I think you got to put Nua in a different spot than Mount Miguel's used to seeing him at, and then try to take advantage of that because that's your best athlete. If you can find a way to get him matched up against someone, maybe they are going to kick the field goal.
Well, it's going to be Nua
every single time.
You're right. It is Nua, but he's going to come out there and kick. This is going to be a 44-yard attempt to try and give Oceanside the lead.
Do they do drop kicks in sevens?
In sevens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he can do that too.
That's a great call.
Just everything he's doing tonight. He's just proven he could play 2 sports, play 10 positions. Who cares?
All right, here we go. 44-yard attempt to try and get the lead with 7:46 to play in the game. Kaimani Nua. It's a high snap. Salcedo has to pull it down, and he's going to try and take off and run. Salcedo's still going, and he fights his way to the 20, but it's not going to be enough for the first down. So they don't get the field goal attempt away. High snap. Turn it over on downs at the 21-yard line. They do get positive yardage, about 6 yards, but not enough for the first down.
There was a second there where I thought he had a chance. It wasn't here. It was once he broke the edge, I thought maybe, just maybe he could do it, but again, good job by Mount Miguel. I mean, that's just as scary for them as it is for Oceanside because all of a sudden, oh my God, because everyone's trying to go block the kick right there. There's no good angle on that, and Salcedo almost made a heck of a play, but at the end of the day, look, at least Mount Miguel has bad field position, and your defense is out there for your Oceanside.
Salcedo took a hit at the end there, too, so he is off on the sideline. Here's Hunter on the carry, 1-yard gain. 2nd and 9 on the way for Mount Miguel. Clock is moving, 7:23 and counting left in this tie game.
Yeah, now if you're Mount Miguel, you kind of want to play that game. Should we ice a little bit of clock before we start taking deep shots downfield? But that, to me, was a fumble because he had not hit the ground yet, stretching out for that extra yard, and then sort of lost the handle on it. But good job by Hunter to have the awareness to jump back on the ball.
2nd down and 9. Tie game, 19 points apiece. Over to throw, and it's incomplete.
So we talked about this earlier. Some teams will do this where if you have a go route and you think that you're not going to be able to get past your defender, you just slam on the brakes. And again, that looked like that miscommunication. And there's a freshman, Tamarian Williams, who is, I think that's what he's probably saying to his coaching staff, because Loper thinks he's going to continue running, and you see him there stopped kind of where the first down marker is. But at the end of the day, not the end of the world for Mount Miguel. It's a safe throw. Nothing bad's going to happen. He gives a big third down.
3rd down and 9. 6:56 to play in the game. We're tied. Loper rolling to his left. His throwing side will take off and run, and he's got the first down. Out of bounds to the 35-yard line. First down, Mount Miguel.
And we said in the last drive, he doesn't like to run, but if he has to do it, he will. And that's a great job by Loper, just taking off. Progression wasn't there. He's got to get 10 yards and just runs towards the sticks and gets out of bounds. Incredible job there, and that's great awareness by the junior quarterback.
So 6:49 left to play in this tie game. 19 points apiece. Number 8, Mount Miguel, trying to drive for what would be their first lead of the game. Low snap, and the ball gets by. Loper picks it up. Trying to scramble away. Throws deep downfield, incomplete. Well done to salvage an incomplete pass out of what could have been a deep sack. And it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Was there a flag on the field? It looked like it might have been holding down there in the backfield.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. So, a holding call makes it 1st and 20.
And Loper, great job to just pick that ball up and still be able to continue to play. Look, again, like a little bit of confusion because Paris Vernon was blocking. And there he's at the bottom of the screen stretching. So he might be in danger of a cramp situation here too. But, yeah, 1st and 20. Big break there for Oceanside.
19 points apiece. 1st down and 20 now from the 24-yard line. Hunter in the backfield with Loper. 4 wide for Mount Miguel. Loper pumps once, under pressure, down he goes! Taken down in the backfield. Now they see Amalu.
You see Amalu playing defensive tackle, just breaking through the line and making the sack there. And then Mount Miguel trying to put the double move on. They were trying their own version of a hitch and go there, and just not enough time. And that's frustrating if you're Mount Miguel because Oceanside's only rushing 4. In theory, you should have time to do that, but great job there by Sam Mulu.
So here we go on 2nd down and very long. Handoff to Hunter, who has room to work with. Hunter, plenty of room. Out across the 40 toward midfield. Wow. All the way out to the 50-yard line.
Looked like a nice little draw there. And again, I think Mount Miguel only wanted to get like half of it back at that point, and they got double.
35-yard run for Hunter. And it's a 1st down for Mount Miguel. Now a penalty flag. It's going to be a procedure penalty on the Matadors.
Yeah, anytime you go fast like that, you're in danger of that happening. And now we get to see the replay, which is good for us. But little draw there, and I mean, again, this went way better than I'm sure Mount Miguel expected. I'm sure they're like, well, if we can get 10 or something here, make this manageable. But Hunter had other thoughts.
It was a snap infraction that was the 5-yard penalty. So that's 1st and 15 on the 45-yard line. 5 minutes, 35 seconds left to play. We're still tied.
And that happens too in those situations because once the center puts his hand on the ball, he can't take it off. So if he gets a little jittery, you get the snap infraction.
Oh, and the snap is bobbled again. Loper trying to run away, and he will get back to the line of scrimmage, the original one. So it's a 5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Mount Miguel.
Yeah, snap looked fine on that. It just Loper just kind of took his eyes off of it and dropped it, did what he could with that. And that's when Loper, you got to tell the center, hey, that was on me. That was right where it was supposed to be, because when normally it was bad snap, you tell the center where it was wrong so they can adjust or figure out what they did wrong, right? On that one, you got to make sure he knows. Just keep doing that again. Don't adjust anything.
Logan Vernon and Arrington are all wide right. They go to the other side, and it's incomplete. Trying to find the freshman to Marion Williams. It's going to be 3rd down now.
It looked like it was tipped there. We'll see on the replay who got a piece of it. Now, good job just getting the hands up there on the edge. And, you know, Mount Miguel's kind of shown throughout the night, if you're going to give us those 5 yards, we'll take it, especially on a 2nd down to make that 3rd down easier. Another situation, they're definitely going to go for the 4th down, so you don't need to get all 10 here. You can get half of it now and half of it later. So we'll see what Mount Miguel chooses to do.
3rd and 10 for the moment from midfield. Loper waiting. Pass is complete. Down inside the 20. It's still going. Inside the 10. Touchdown Mount Miguel. It's A.J. Logan for the 3rd time tonight.
And we will see a lot of him doing that in what will be the Pac-12. Jack, when he's at Boise State, that is not a guy you want with the ball in your hands if you're Oceanside, not a guy you want open if you're Oceanside. But then again, you don't want any of these dudes open because all these receivers, you take a look at all of them right there. I mean, that is, you know, that stereotypical picture of like all those Alabama receivers walking out of the tunnel. That's basically the high school equivalent right there. All those dudes are going to play in college. All of them are going to play D1. And here's A.J. Logan, sort of the leader of the wide receiver core, breaking some tackles after the catch and scoring.
And we got penalty flags on the attempt. So it'll be a procedure call against Mount Miguel. This is their first lead of the night, 25-19.
It's the right time to take a lead. Generally, at the end of the game, it's a good time.
4:37 to play, first lead of the night.
That's my astute observation.
I like that. So Edelman will try this from a bit further back. It's the equivalent of a 25-yard field goal attempt. Low snap, and it's going to be blocked, taken down. So no good on the try. 25-19, it's a 6-point lead for Mount Miguel.
And it's been an adventure on those extra points. And part of me was thinking, too, after they got that penalty, maybe that's too far and maybe have to go for 2 here. And I you know, it is a big deal that that's 6 points. So I know Oceanside has had their own struggles with field goals and PATs, but now you're giving them a chance to score and take the lead with a PAT. And take a look at this touchdown one more time. A.J. Logan catching on the post route. And then this is the most dangerous part. If you're a defense, A.J. Logan with the ball in the open field makes about 4 guys miss. And, you know, kind of the hallmark of is a guy good enough to play in college? For me, it's always how easy does he make it look? And A.J. Logan made it look really easy there. And then, again, another struggle there for Mount Miguel to get a kick off. And there's our guy, Edelman. He's had a day out there.
Well, the one where he actually got to take a swing at it, he made it.
I know. It hasn't been his fault.
So, 4:37 to go. It's a 6-point game. By the way, Nua's done a good job, too, when he's gotten a swing at it on the other side. But kicking game's been interesting for both sides. Here is the kick from the 15-yard line, the return for Oceanside. And out to the 25-yard line goes Capenasato.
We got another cramp again. that was Titus. So he made the tackle and then started celebrating and then cramped during the celebration. That's always tough. But good tackle there on the kickoff. A gang tackle there, and then gets up, celebrates, and then, well, we missed it there, but right after that found out that he was cramping. And yeah, it's kind of a cool night. You know, I was not expecting to see as much cramping. Early in the season, you see it all the time because it's hotter. The kids aren't used to running as much. It feels like it happens, 5-6 times a game, but tonight we've seen it about 3.
And you're lulled into a false sense of security because it's not as hot.
Right.
Charlie's going to hydrate. Jonathan Rifkin says it's still very humid on the field, too. So it's in addition to...
He did promise a weather report.
That's true.
We got to get him one of those... what's the word for it? The thing that reads the humidity and the temperature? I don't know what that thing is.
A barometer?
Yeah. Sure.
Sure. Whatever.
It sounds right. I mean, yeah, it sounds right to me.
4:31 to play. Oceanside now down by 6. First time they trailed all night here at home. Buccaneero play action. Quick toss over the middle. Incomplete. Well defended on the play by Kalani Jordan.
Yeah, and for Oceanside, I don't think you need to panic and start throwing here. That hasn't been your MO so far tonight, and that's an RPO, actually. So, quarterback liked what he saw on the slant there with linebackers coming in. it's sort of there, but at the same time, it's always going to be sort of there on an RPO when there's no safety over the top because they got to run with everybody. And so the corners do, excuse me. So Mount Miguel's banking on their athletes being able to cover Oceanside's athletes without any help.
Hernandez, the intended target last time around. It's 2nd down and 10. As Bacanero rolls out to his right. He's throwing side, fires away downfield, incomplete, and there are penalty flags. So there's a flag in the secondary. There is a flag on the near side away from the play.
There should be 3 because I counted 3 defensive holdings. So that would be what I think this is going to be. It was not necessarily pass interference that you saw on the screen, but it felt like all the defenders were holding the Oceanside guys. Excuse me, they were trying to get in their routes, and I could be wrong, but that's what it felt like to me.
Yep, there you go.
Only thing I've been able to do right today is call the penalties.
Well, they called them both. They called them both pass interference and holding, so they will take the pass interference call. Remember, there were flags. You saw it. You saw the holding.
I mean, I saw a couple of them. We'll take a look at the replay, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see. You can see the whole screen. So you're going to see it down at the bottom, and then you're going to see it again at the top, and then on the 40, you see. Yeah, I mean, there could have been 2 or 3 holdings, and they called that the pass interference, which I thought was the least egregious of all the holdings.
Yeah, there were 2 holds and the interference. So
dealer's choice at that point, whatever. Yeah.
Well, Oceanside takes the longer of the penalties, and so now it's 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line, 4:20 to go. Handoff. It's Pumele on the end around. S.J. Pumele taking that one out to midfield. It's a gain of 8. It'll be 2nd down.
That's been their best play, especially to the short side of the field. Basically what they're doing is they want to guarantee that Mount Miguel Strong is going to call their strength away from where they're going to run the ball. So you generally can get that if you have even numbers and then you have the field side away from where you're going to run it. So they've been able to take advantage of that pretty much all night, and Pumele's been really effective on the ground.
2nd down and 2 from midfield. 25-19, Mount Miguel with their only lead of the game right now. Oceanside has led the entire way. They trail now as they get the 1st down carry. Nekalatuli taking it to the 44-yard line of the Matadors. It's a 1st down for the Pirates.
Creative little wrinkle there. They had Noel Hernandez coming across him with his jet motion, but he's actually going to have the kickout block. See 25 right there, kickout block there on the defensive end, and that's asking a lot. I don't have Hernandez's height and weight on there, but my assumption would be smaller than a typical defensive end. But good job holding up his end of the bargain there on the kickout block.
An injured player for Mount Miguel. Looks like Gregory Jefferson, the senior. So it's going to be a 1st down for Oceanside. 3:35 remaining.
Yeah, and again, plenty of time. You don't need to get into that hurry-up 2-minute offense yet. You don't need to feel like you need to throw. You can keep the ball on the ground. And, you know, you also don't want to give Mount Miguel any time on the back end, too. So you really want to burn all 3:30 because as we've seen, as we mentioned it the whole entire game, it really only takes Mount Miguel 1 or 2 plays to score because once they get one of their playmakers with the ball in space, it's a nightmare for defenses, and we've seen A.J. Logan break a couple. Brandon Arrington can do the same thing. Paris Vernon can do the same thing. So it really is one of those things that you want it to be 0-0-0-0 when Mount Miguel gets the ball back if you do score.
Jonathan Rifkin, what are you seeing down there in the final 3:35 here in this game?
Yeah, Oceanside just trying to keep their guys together, saying we've played together to this moment. I know we've seen the lead slip away, but the moment can still be ours. Just got to tighten things up and play our game where we can find ourselves out of here with a victory. And by the way, my barometer right now reading 65 degrees, dew point at 61, 84% humidity, which is why you're seeing the cramping. It doesn't feel like you could get dehydrated down here, but with the 84% humidity, you have to make sure you're continuously getting oxygen to your blood flow, which means you got to stay hydrated late in the 4th quarter.
Great call, Jonathan Rifkin. Thank you. 1st down carry, S.J. Pumele again. It's that same end-around play as he takes it to the 43.
Jonathan, when did you get your PhD in meteorology? That was pretty good.
You spend enough time around Jack Cronin, you pick up a thing or two.
Yeah.
I got to look up what a dew point is. That could be anything.
Altimeter 299er0, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Now he's just showing off.
Yeah. He's just saying words at this point. 2nd down and 8 for Oceanside. Pumele again in motion. Handoff. Lutuli up the middle. He's got the first down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
Same window dressing they showed. Well, window dressing because they showed that motion and a play that ended up being a jet sweep to Pumele on the previous play. So now what do? You counter it with, here's the window dressing, but now we're coming back the opposite direction. And great job by the Oceanside line and tight ends making a hole.
1st and 10 for the 29-yard line. 2:28 to play, and Mount Miguel will call timeout.
Good timeout there for a couple of reasons. One, give everyone a break because, as Jonathan said, the dew point's 61 and our barometer said whatever. So get these guys some water. But also, you do kind of want to save some time on the back end. Potentially, you don't want Oceanside to have the opportunity to milk it all down and then be stuck with nothing left out there. And if you're Mount Miguel, and if the same guys that were on the field are going to stay on the field, obviously anything can happen after timeout. But when I see 45 in, that is a giant sign that they're probably going to keep the ball on the ground, because goalie's been a very effective blocker. And, the two hardest hitters on defense, goalie and Tokyo, in playing tight end, is scary for a defense, especially one that's tired and been worn down over the course of 4 quarters.
It's going to be first down for Oceanside out of the Mount Miguel timeout. 2:26 to play. 6-point Matador lead, Pirate football.
Tokyo kind of making a case that maybe he should play a little bit of offense when he gets to Washington.
Yeah. Got the size and athletic ability.
Play some fullback, tight end, something.
Absolutely. They'll pitch it back. Batuli trying to find a hole. He does get positive yardage to the 26-yard line. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 on the way as the clock moves under 2 minutes left to go.
Yeah, running sweep at the bunch. You want Tokyo to get that kick-out block. Good job there by just keeping contained and making sure that made it harder for the running back to get through that hole that Tokyo was trying to make and forcing him back inside toward the defense.
2nd down, officially 6. Pumele and Nua go to the right side. Latuli's in the backfield. And Pumele on the end around, but he'll be stopped. Loss of 2 yards on the play. Well defended by Driston Williams, who's had a great night for Mount Miguel.
Creative celebration there. Did you see that? He made the O, and then his teammates slashed it. But that's been Oceanside's most effective play so far. The jet sweep to the short side, and that time Mount Miguel was ready for it. We'll miss the celebration there, and so did the rest, too.
3rd down and 9 after the loss. 3rd down, 1 minute, 17 seconds to play. Oceanside trailing by 6. Tacanero out of the shotgun on 3rd down. Waiting, rolling to his right, gets rid of the football. It's incomplete. Flag comes in.
Feels like it's in the area of what would be defensive holding again.
It's an incomplete pass, but there is a penalty flag. And it will be a defensive hold.
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of these routes are Oceanside running clear across the field and a lot of man coverage across the board, and that tends to be how you get the hold. And I mean, that was a little ticky-tacky. I don't know. That one was not as egregious as the last play. I don't know. I mean, if you're yeah, that's a tough call with 1 minute in the 4th quarter in a one-possession game.
From the 18-yard line now, it's 1st and 10. That was a first down penalty with 1 minute remaining. 1 minute left to go in a 6-point game. Anthony Baccaniero, low snap, quickly throws, looking for the end zone, far side, it's up and caught! Hauled in by Nua with less than a minute to go! Kamari Nua with a game-tying touchdown reception.
And we said it last time, at some point, you got to just give him a chance. They've been begging, Mount Miguel's been begging Oceanside to try that one-on-one coverage over and over and over and over. And I know that's Brandon Arrington, and I know he's going to go play at Texas A&M. But Nua's pretty darn good, too. And great job locating the ball and making a play on it. Man. And keeping not just the feet, but the butt in bounds as well. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful play there from Oceanside. And I don't want to guess if they're going for 2 or not obviously it's tied, right? But the field goal has not been a guaranteed thing. And we've seen, I want to count, was it 4 or 5 missed snaps?
It's been a lot. And to your point, Oceanside called timeout here, their final timeout of the game, to talk it over and make sure they've got everything set in a tie game, 25 points apiece.
Now, I'm making an assumption here. I'm assuming this is a new long snapper because we're seeing 75 get some reps right now. He's not the normal long snapper. They had another, and I'm blanking on the number and on name. I apologize. They had a different long snapper. So the timeout might have been to get some reps in. And again, this is Spartan. This is his first game. Huge spot for him.
Yeah.
This is the most crucial part of the whole entire game is this snap.
So here we are. The hold for Salcedo out of the Leahy snap for Nua to try and kick the go-ahead extra point. Snap and spot kick is on the way. It's up and it is good. 26-25 Oceanside with 53 seconds left.
I tell you what, you're looking at Nua right now. It's a special kind of kid who can make that play against one of the best players in San Diego and then go kick the extra point. And now he's going to go do the kickoff. I mean, what can't this kid do? And I've already volunteered him to play sevens this weekend, so he's got to do that now. So, man, again, Army's getting a good one. I keep saying is getting a good one, but all the kids tonight that are going to play at the next level on your television screens on Saturdays have shown you exactly why. And Nua has never come off the field. He plays offense, he plays defense, he kicks, he punts. I'm sure he fills up the Gatorade at halftime. I mean, this kid does everything.
What a game for Kaimani Nua. Oceanside goes ahead by 1 point. Now, obviously, Mount Miguel has the firepower to strike quickly. So it's not over just yet. 53 seconds remaining in the game. A.J. Logan has 3 touchdown receptions in this one.
And 53 seconds for Mount Miguel is
nothing.
50 extra seconds they actually need. So, and again, you're going to get a situation here where they don't want to kick it deep because they're scared to kick it deep. So you're going to get good field position if you're Mount Miguel.
Nua kicks it short, and it's going to go out of bounds. So a penalty on the kickoff out of bounds will give Mount Miguel good field position with 53 seconds left. They were trying to kick it away from the weapons that the Matadors have.
And that's going to happen. I'm surprised that's the first time it's happened so far tonight because trying to kick it short and directionally kick it, it's a lot to ask of anybody, but let alone a kid like Nua who's not necessarily a quote-unquote kicker. So short field here for Mount Miguel. And like we said, plenty of time for them. They're comfortable just throwing it all day. And man, we got a good one here. And you want to be the icing on the cake if somehow they get it down close and then Mount Miguel wins on a field goal, because then it would have been the ultimate redemption for both snappers, both kickers, and both holders.
Paris Vernon is wide left. A.J. Logan has 3 touchdowns, is in the slot. Those are both to the left of Jeremiah Loper. Hunter's in the backfield. Tamarian Williams, the freshman, is wide right. With Kalani Jordan in the slot to the right. And now we've got a penalty. I think it's a delay of game.
Yeah, so the play call came in, and you could see the receivers down at the bottom, and especially Kamani Jordan, who I think was supposed to come in motion, was so busy reading the play. He never got it in time, and then, Loper's panicking, trying to get him to come in motion so he can call the snap, and just never happened.
So 1st and 15 from the 30. No time has come off the clock yet. Here's Loper out of the shotgun with Hunter in the backfield, 4 wide. Mount Miguel has just taken their first lead. Now they're down by 1. Loper steps up in the pocket, and down he goes! He'll be taken down inside the 30 on the sack. Easy Tokyo and company getting into the backfield.
Easy Tokyo making his presence felt not just on offense as a blocker, but obviously in his primary role as a defensive end. You see him at the top of the screen just bull rushing and getting to Loper. Big time for a sack there because now Mount Miguel has to take their timeout. They only have 1 left with 43 seconds left. And the clock is now becoming an issue, I would say.
Isaiah Tokyo getting through a double team to get the sack.
with 43 seconds left in the game.
Man, there was no nuance to it either. That was just, I'm stronger, and I'm going to push both of you guys back into the quarterback and make the play. And, you know, this is not a knock on the Mount Miguel offensive line. That's just a big, strong, athletic dude playing defensive end and is going to go play at Washington for that reason.
Yeah, he's going to be in the Big Ten next year. So
that's so weird for me to hear.
It is. Second down and 18 after the sack. 43 seconds left in the game. It's a 1-point contest. Oceanside, they can preserve a 1-point lead. Mount Miguel waiting for Loper, who is chased away to his left. He fires downfield. This one's batted down, incomplete. Anthony Flats got there and batted it down. It's incomplete. It's going to be 4th down for Mount Miguel.
And Flats is having a huge day. He had the interception there at the end of the first half and then makes a big play there. I thought there was a chance that Loper had made some magic out of nothing. Kaloni Jordan was standing there, but again, great job. When the ball is hanging in the air that long, somebody on defense is probably going to run over there and make a play. And, you know, Loper had to throw that, obviously, with the situation being what it is. And good job there by Flats, because I thought that Jordan had that.
3rd down and 18. 3rd down and 18 for Mount Miguel here with 34 seconds left. Loper throwing over the middle, incomplete. Now it's 4th down, trying to find Logan, who has the 3 touchdowns tonight. 4th down and 18 with 29 seconds left.
Yeah,
One final attempt to extend for the Matadors.
You really have 2 things you can do there. You can either try and get half the back and get out of bounds and make this more manageable, or try to go for it all right there. Now Miguel tries to go for it all here. And, you know, tough throw, good coverage. But here comes the play of the game.
So, one attempt to extend the game with 29 seconds left. Oceanside, one play to try and win it on defense.
Yeah, Oceanside just lined up on the first down mark, 4 wide across, just waiting for the throw.
Loper going deep to the far side. Out one, batted down, incomplete. And the Pirates will take it here at home. Oceanside will win this one by 1 point tonight. 26-25 Pirates.
And again, really not much you can do there. I said 4 across. I meant to say 5. I said 5 lined up across on the first down line, waiting for what was the, you know, just long toss. Basically an old school version of 3 flies up, right? Just throw it high and far and hope that your guy catches it. They threw it to the guy who's been their most reliable target, A.J. Logan, just hoping that he can get under it and make a play. But kudos to both teams. This was a great game we had here. At first, it looked like Oceanside was just going to bully their way to victory in the first half. Mount Miguel scratched and clawed and fought back, and a lot of these kids are playing both ways. Just what must have been an exhausting drag-out, knockout game, and the difference ended up being an extra point.
Yeah.
I mean, these 2 teams, if they play 100 times, I think it goes 50-50.
What a great game. Jaden Hunter, Paris Vernon, of course, A.J. Logan with the 3 touchdowns tonight for Mount Miguel. Great contest. And for Oceanside, that offensive line controls thing. The defense comes up big. Here, Bacanero will take a knee, and that'll do it. Easy Tokyo, Kaimani Nua, Neka Latuli, and this great Oceanside team winning in all phases tonight. They really controlled things up front. That's how it started for the Pirates. And then Newell comes up with a big plays late.
Yeah, control things up front, and then, you know, in high school football, a lot of times you just got to rely on your best guy at the end of the day. And that's what it was. Manned up across the board, and at some point they had to just hope that their guy can make a play against Mount Miguel's guy. It happened, and then he made the bonus play, the extra play, quote unquote, the extra point, which was arguably, well, it was. I mean, it was the game deciding factor, but man, what a game.
Fantastic here tonight in Oceanside. Back and forth they go. Both sides with their star players stepping up. Both teams across the board for a chance to win this one tonight. It's the Oceanside Pirates at home who take the victory over number 8, Mount Miguel. Oceanside is going to be a force here the rest of this season.
That'll do it for us here in the booth. For Tommy Morris, I'm Jack Cronin. We are now going to throw things down to Jonathan Rifkin. As Oceanside, Jonathan wins it by 1 here at home.
Oh, a nail-biter here at Oceanside. Welcome to the post-game show here in our San Diego section. Game of the week on YurView Channel 4 and on TVX Sports Video. I'm Jonathan Rifkin, and I think that Jack and Tommy put it just right, unanticipated. If this game was played out 100 times, 50 wins to Oceanside, 50 wins to Mount Miguel. Both teams didn't really play a particularly clean game. I have never, ever seen so many special teams blunders in my entire life in one football game. But at the end of the day, it was the Pirates, the proud tradition up here at Oceanside, reigning supreme. They played tough, they played strong, and that touchdown by Nua to secure what eventually was the victory, a special moment, as this is an Oceanside now picking up perhaps its most marquee victory at home in the Coach Pa'amele era. And it was one of those games where Oceanside came out firing on all cylinders. You could tell that Mount Miguel was maybe playing a step off of their normal game. Some tensions were flaring pretty early on, some flags, and then finally Mount Miguel settled in. They erased what was a 12-0 deficit. They were trailing 19-6 at the half, and then they come out flying 19-12, 20-19, and then 26-19 before Oceanside was able to come away with an amazing victory in the waning moments of this one in front of their home crowd. It was one of those games where I think that Oceanside felt like they needed to prove themselves because they played a gauntlet, but their one win was against a struggling Helix team, and Mount Miguel felt like they needed this win. It's a very difficult conference. They have to play Steel Canyon and Grossmont. They have to play Granite Hills in conference, and that ultimately will help dictate where they fall. But games like this matter, and here tonight, Oceanside was the ones who got the victory. It's a special evening for us all here at TVX Sports Video. It's a hard-working crew. I mean, we could not have done it without some of the amazing people who really come together every single Friday night to bring you high-quality high school football here in San Diego, as Oceanside and Mount Miguel will say their post-game words. One coach probably a little bit more congratulatory than the other. I saw fired up Coach Patofe on the sideline here as the game was ending. And Tommy, of the few things he nailed in this broadcast, and there were quite a few, the flags, defensive holding, pass interference, those were the abundant defensive penalties against Mount Miguel. And it's uncharacteristic, a team that is built on discipline and toughness and high-quality football, and it didn't show up for the entirety of this game. And that coaching staff, I'm sure, will watch the tape, and they're going to have to clean some things up as they continue on forth here in Week 7 and then some in the high school football season. But Oceanside, they played the toughest schedule outside of Lincoln and all of San Diego, and they are now 2-4 this season with plenty of big games on the horizon. They have Rancho Bernardo, Del Norte, and El Camino all at the end of the season. None of those are Cupcake and Poway, by the way. Their final 4 games, all 4 games can swing either way, but a win here tonight I think has proven for Oceanside that they can run with some of the best here in San Diego. And that El Camino game circled at the bottom of the schedule at the very end during rivalry week, that could really change the tone here in San Diego and North County, a North County that has been dominated by El Camino the last 5 years, but Oceanside slowly continuing to show their teeth a little bit. A young offensive line, an amazing sophomore quarterback, and a team full of fight and grit, able to find their way to victory, 26-25. Our player of the game, who else but Kamani Nua? This kid, a punter, a kicker, a wide receiver, and a defensive specialist, and here he was with his first big grab, a slant up the middle, taking some big contact on his way down, setting his team up and goal. Here's a little end-around jet sweep turned into a flea flicker. Unfortunately, despite this being reeled in gorgeously, it was called back due to an illegible man downfield. So even though Newell may have had another touchdown, here he is on the punt, and they called this one the drop kick. You might see Rugby Sevens here on this feed tomorrow, but you're getting a taste of it here tonight as Kimani Newell was able to evade pressure en route to getting a clean punt off. Not an easy task as a a punter, and certainly not one that you learn here at the high school football level. And then, of course, the dagger. Man-on-man coverage against one of the best in the nation. That's Brandon Arrington in man-on-man coverage. Nua did not back down, and he has earned our player of the game here in San Diego. Let's cap it off with a PAT 26-25 Oceanside, and that's all she wrote here in week number 6. It's been an amazing, amazing evening of high school football. Jack Cronin and Tommy Morris were the voices in your ears all evening long. We had a full staff of the hardest working people in San Diego from the top down. Randall and Joseph and David are amazing camera people. I know Daniel's somewhere in the back as well. And our man at the tippy top, Ted Bendrick, we could not do it without you. And to all of you for making us a part of your Friday evening plans. And all the gratitude in the world here at TVX Sports Video and our partners at Cox. But that's going to do it from Oceanside, California. For all of us here at Oceanside, my name is Jonathan Rifkin saying so long and good night. The Pirates are victorious over the Matadors, 26-25.
September 27th, Rugby Sevens is back. From Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California, it's Stop 1 of the West Coast Sevens. Watch all the action live on YouTube at TVX Sports Video.